That would be something. I wouldn't just this we're just terminating everybody left and right. It's like it's the holiday season. It's time to fire people. Yeah. You want to make sure they went shopping first, though. So make sure they bought all their Christmas gift, and you're like, hey, credit cards max out. Yeah, fire them. fire them. Which is,
God, I hate Facebook. Every time I try to paste a link from Facebook, I get all this Facebook leavings.
Facebook leaving. Sounds like Facebook droppings, doesn't it?
Oh, I was trying to say droppings, but it didn't come out of my mouth.
Hello, everybody. Get in here. We can see you coming into the chat. Stinch says, Randy, if you want me on, I'd be happy to. Hey, Stinch, how's it going? Sup? We got.
Hey, can you put the link in private chat?
The link to the show?
Yeah.
So to come in?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Let's see here. The invite link. Okay. 1 second. I almost posted the wrong thing. Here we go. All right. Link to come in is in the private chat. All right. There we go. Is this clickbait, brother? It is clickbait. It is clickbait. You guys are watching the last Indie Volt live show. And a simple reason for that is clickbait because it is the last Indie Volt live by that name. The show will now be going by the name of Indie Volt Live Wire. Why? Because I'm a sucker for bad names, and there's a reason for it later on, which I'll explain to you guys. It's kind of a tie-in to something else.
He's rebranding to dodge the IRS.
Yeah, exactly. Got to get away from the IRS. Homie's rocking the Bosey triport. Is that what it is? Yeah, I'm about to rock my screen glasses though, because I'm getting old and I'm starting to have to put on blue blockers and stuff, man. It's getting rough out here in these streets. This old age.
You get those giant ones that kind of like go over your glasses.
Mm-hmm. The Bret Harts.
Oh, no, the bigger ones are like the giant sunglass things or whatever.
Yeah. Then he says, "Phew, you have me nervous." Yeah, no, we're not leaving you guys. Not yet. We'll still be here. Just change the name of the show. It's gonna be the same show. It's gonna be changed show. Might get a new intro.
It'll be just as bad, but better.
Yeah. It'll be just we'll be serving the same brand of mediocrity next week that we are this week. So
at least you're consistent,
Yeah, the consistency is there. We'll be fine. You guys will love it.
Kind of like with food when they just add the word organic to the packaging and charge an extra $1.
That's what we're doing. Michael Owen says, "Yo," Rebel Gamer says, "Word, hello." Dominic Burst here joining us. Hello, Dominic.
Hey guys, how's it going? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, come through loud and
I
clear.
can't hear you guys very well, but as long as you can hear me.
Yeah. Stin says, "I'm not on Boomer Book. If any of you got Discord, add me and shoot a DM at Skip Rope. Wow, I said Skip Rope. What's Skip Rope? Skip Rope number 4140. Trico Luckin says, "What up, guys? What's up, Trico?" And Dennis says, "I loved Reddit Dinosaur's voice."
Wow, that's 2 people in my lifetime that have ever said that.
It's usually like nails on the chalkboard to most of us now. You got the 2. Yeah, 2. Yeah, some people don't ever get that. No one likes my voice. I'm gonna run the intro. Oh, it sounds like Sandman from the real Ghostbusters. I've now got to go back and watch the episodes. I got them too. I got them on Con TV. I've got to.
Oh man, now we need a clip of that every time I come on.
Yeah. It'll be you.
Well, the first time I was complimented, I was told that he would do a cartoon with me as a voice actor any day. Still waiting for that second phone call.
I'm gonna play the intro and we're gonna get back to it and introduce ourselves, guys. Here we go. Here's the intro and then something for Eric to read. Here we go.
Views and opinions expressed in this program are not necessarily those of Indie Volt Media LLC and do not reflect the official policy or position of any guests or sponsors. Viewer discretion is advised.
Now that we got that out the way, start cussing now. It's it's great to be here with you guys. Hello, my name, everyone, is Varian Grant. I have been making comic books since way back in 2000 and was it 14 now? Wow, long time. I am 2014. Wow, 2008. I am a father, a husband, a geek, a comic book artist, writer, creator, all that good stuff. Making books for years. Reluctant taxpayer, and this is Indie Volt Live. Randy will be with us tonight. He's running late, but he'll be fine. He's coming in. Don't worry, he's coming. He's on a far less popular show than ours right now. I'm just kidding now. He's actually on the Brian K. Moore show right now, but he will be over as soon as he's off of there.
That's such a dig too, because we're not that popular.
Yeah. We're not that popular, so I'm saying that because Brian's never had me on his show. So until I get on Brian's show, in Fui, I've been disinvited to better places than your show. Anyway, so I've been disinvited to my in-laws' Thanksgiving festivities before COVID. So now, I am joined by Dreaded Dinosaur today, Eric. Hello, how are you?
I am well. How are you?
Hanging in there.
Hanging long, hanging short. I guess it depends on how cold it is.
Oh yeah, it's been cold lately. Yeah, it's pretty short. Where can they find you at, sir?
I am at Dreaded Dinosaur on all those social media things. You know, the Twitter, the Twatter, Instagram, which sucks now because I can't stand those, what they call it, stories or whatever. But anyway, I digress. EricHudson.com, ErikHudson.com, where I am having a major sale on all my prints right now, half off, because I need to pay December's rent.
Don't make that man have to go out there and have to take one of those other jobs. You might have to go to Kelly Services. Jesus,
I'm already doing DoorDash, and my gosh, could I tell you some stories already?
DoorDash. Love to hit it. Can't. I don't know how to work there. I want to go to the chat real quick because I love the intro. Thanks, Denny. Cameron says nice. Michael says Varian. That's salt. That's true. Is that me clicking? Or is that Eric?
Is it me?
Let's see. Hold on.
Is that better?
No, there's still some clicking. Hold on, let me see if that's you. Hold on. No, I'm still hearing it.
My sound. So
1 second.
I'm hearing you through the laptop.
It might be. Hold on. I just muted KG. I don't hear it. Aha. Yeah, it's KG.
Oh.
It's those lovely iPhones.
Then we could probably sing to this.
I'm sorry, I'm having trouble with my sound. So if I miss a question,
you have to sign in and sign back. Sign out and sign back in, KG. You should clear up. And of course,
Dorothy's is in a panic. She needs to know why this is the last one.
Yeah, David Crockett. Yes, it's quite nice. It's not the last one, Dorothy's.
It's the latest one.
It's. I'm calling it. We're changing the name of the show to Indie Volt Live Wire next week. There's a couple reasons for that, but yeah. So we're just adding the word "wire" to it. Indie Volt Live Wire, because Live Wire, also being a horrible DC Comics character, just makes sense. And it was we did that for a couple different reasons. Don't worry. It'll all make sense in a few months. It'll all make sense. You're like, oh, Varian's a genius. And I know that. I'm telling you that. I'm a genius. So we're waiting for KG to come back. Yeah, there he is. Okay, he's come back in. Yeah. Much
Welcome
better.
back.
Yeah. Much better.
Returned.
Yeah. Hopefully the clicking doesn't get back there. But let's see here. All right. Now, JD, tell everybody where you're from.
My name is JD Calderon. I'm the writer and creator of the Oswald Chronicles and Tall Tales Online. You can find me on Facebook under JD Calderon, Twitter under JD Calderon. You can also find me on YouTube under JD Calderon, where I interview various independent comic book creators like Varian Grant and KJ. I have to get Eric on there. And Dominic, you got to come on too.
Yeah, for real, man. I'll be there.
And currently on Indiegogo, I have the Oswald Chronicles going up, so you can go check that out.
Wow.
And that's what I got.
All right.
Wait. And next is we will go to KG. KJ. Sorry. It's
Yes.
Keith, right? Is that good? Keith? Let's see. What was it?
It is Keith. It is Keith.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead. Tell everybody about yourself.
Yeah. Writer, artist, been around for a little bit. Self-publishing. We actually have a project on Kickstarter right now, Road to Valhalla. We got about 7 days left on that, so we're trying to get that funded. So that's why, I figured I'd come on and talk about that a little bit.
Awesome. Where are you from at? Where are you from?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Here.
Oh, I'm from Connecticut.
Connecticut. Okay. All right. Good old Connecticut.
I can hear you.
I always try to figure out where everyone's from so I can pick on them later. And Dominic, tell us about yourself.
Yeah. So
Where are you from? Where are you?
I'm from Ottawa, Canada. I was born here and I was raised an hour away from here in the boonies. Then I ended up moving back here, going to OCAD in Toronto. And at the time I was working for Undisclosed, major name, I can't say. And for Ken Lashley also, who's a tremendous artist. And I was working as his assistant doing backgrounds. So intense that people were quitting the inking jobs because the details were too intense. So that was pretty funny. Anyway, so after that, I got really sick. And then I ghosted for 20 years. And I'm back. So I'm a classically trained visual artist, writer, illustrator, designer. I'm the founder, owner, principal creator, and publisher at Mirror Comics. We're at Mirror Comics on Twitter / Mirror Comics everywhere else, and mirrorcomics.com is the hub, and we're doing a lot of stuff that I thought I'd talk about. And I'm getting this weird echo, and I think it's important to figure out unless it's just me. Are you guys getting any weird underwater?
No echo here.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think you're okay.
So my question is, how's the sound now? Because I can hear you well through the laptop speaker. I'm afraid of feedback.
No, I don't hear any. Only thing I'm getting is the clicking from
Because right now I'm experiencing like I experience the show normally, which is really nice. And if you're not getting feedback, I'll keep it at that because I hear you really well now.
Yeah, I don't get any feedback. I'm not getting any feedback right now.
You're doing just fine.
All right. So anyways, mirrorcomics.com, that's the hub. Tonight I'm going to talk about a new paper line that I'm launching for professional illustrators and comic book artists with my printer. And otherwise, I still have my fall line available. And there's crazy stuff going on at Disneyo.com, which is a Paris-based publisher. Not a publisher, but a distributor of all the European books. But they're also doing North American and Japanese books. Very exciting. Anyway, so gone on long. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no problem.
I'm from Ottawa. To answer your question,
right? Yeah, I'm all the way up here in Michigan, where it's nice and cold currently. It is it's gotten to the point now where I think that it is. I know it snowed the other day, and I heard what sounded like hail hitting my windows. So it's like I'll sleep well tonight. I hope it does rain. I hope it gets really windy. And I'll tell you guys why. And I was told today by we had some company over, and the young lady told me, Varian, that is the most horrible thing I've ever heard. I sleep really well when it's raining and snowing, pretty much when it's raining and it's like I can hear the wind, and it's not because of any like deep humans sleep so well. No, it's because I'm imagining other people out there in it not being as comfortable as I am.
Oh,
and I know that sounds toxic as hell, but
mean, man.
Yeah, well, mean or not, I sleep well knowing that somebody out there is out there shivering. I don't think they gotta be homeless. They could be trying to make it home. They could be at the bus stop. Ooh. I mean, come on, you guys. When you first started driving, did you not pass the bus stop and look at people and say and keep driving? I know that I did, especially that girl that wouldn't date me. I'd drive past. How you doing? And
That'd
keep
be you
driving.
if it weren't for Uber nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be. But no, I'd figure out something. I'd drive illegally then. My mother used to tell me that my grandfather will do this very mean thing. And Keith, I'll unmute you in a second. That popping, I want to see if I could clear it up. He used to he would see people walking, and he'd pull over next to them, and he'd say, "Hey, how you doing?" And they, "Hi." And he says, "Would you like a ride?" And they'd say, "Sure." And he'd say, "Well, get your ass a car." And then he'd take off.
Oh,
And it was the meanest thing ever. But and she says, my grandmother didn't like it. His mother didn't like it. It was very, one day someone's gonna shoot at you. No one ever shot at him, but yeah. We're joined by Mr. Odin.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, how's it going?
We're living the dream. Just out here sitting in the rain, being miserable while Varian talks about, enjoying my misery out in the rain.
Oh man, I tell you.
It's warmer where he is, so it's okay.
Look, I want you to understand. I got a heater here. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. It blows this nice warm air on me.
It's not actually raining over here. It's not too bad out. In fact, I'm actually just hanging out here and chatting with you guys while I'm out on a stroll. So it's good. It's actually really nice weather out. But I just figured that'd be a great way to enter in is to try and guilt trip Varian a little bit, and it obviously didn't work. So
and I got news for you. Walking is for chumps too. I've got a wheelchair now that says walking is for chumps. Yeah, I don't believe in that. Dave the Supreme in the house says hello, everyone.
Hey,
hello,
Dave the Supreme.
So yeah, I'm gonna bring up one of the first questions of the night.
The one and only first question of the night.
Actually, no, I found two other ones.
Okay. Nice.
And we'll let Eric read them since Randy isn't here. Eric's gonna do all the reading of the questions. Let's see here. Okay, we'll do that one first. Here we go.
All right.
And this one was sent in anonymously. So,
why do indie artists, 1, not work outside of comics, 2, eat poorly, 3, sleep around?
Ooh.
That's quite an overgeneralization there, since I do none of those. Sometimes I eat poorly, but it's not like a lifelong habit.
Isn't that everybody's lifestyle, really? I mean,
yeah. We'll start with Keith. Keith, what do you think about that?
About artists in general, or just indie artists?
Indie artists. This question here. Why do we not work outside of comics, eat poorly, and sleep around?
Yeah, I think we're like cats. We're odd, and you just leave us alone, and we're good. Anyway, I'm not sure. I don't know. That's a good. These are good questions. I might be up all night wondering about these now.
These are questions without answers.
Me, really.
Let's ask JD. He's known for he's known for eating poorly.
How many of these can you check off, man?
Yeah.
First of all, nobody can prove that I sleep around, right? Nobody can prove it. Right? I'm just saying. Secondly, listen, I had a banana today and a clementine, so I had something off a tree. So you can't say that's to grow out the earth, right? And I do work outside of comics, so there you go.
I sleep around my house. Like sometimes I sleep on the sofa. Very rarely I'll sleep in my kids' room, depending on how drunk I am. And I sleep in my bedroom. But no, sleeping around. I mean, look, there are a few artists that have done that. Yes. Eric's gonna get us all in trouble. But there are a few artists that have done that. Eat poorly. We go to conventions. We're always on the road. There's not a lot of 5-star restaurants that we can stop it at 2:00 in the morning.
The condition of how we eat is how we do for that day at the con. That's what decides. It's like, all right, we're going to Ruth's Chris. No, we're going to McDonald's. It just depends on how good of a weekend you have.
In fact, even on a good weekend, you're probably just like, all right, we made profits. Can't dip too much into that because I need that to make my next book.
Right.
All right, biggies it is.
Yeah, hey, I'll tell you right now. I always forget to call my credit card when I'm going out of state, so they flag it. And one of my credit cards is so jumpy, or it's actually my debit card. They're so jumpy, they will cancel my card. They will cancel it, like it's done. And so I remember not being able to get into a hotel. This has happened to me 3 times, and once I was with Eric when it happened. So. The first time it happened, though, it was me and my wife, and thankfully we had the con that day because we were making money, and then all that money would go back toward getting the room that night. And luckily, there's McDonald's around, so McDonald's in the dollar store, so we could eat. KG's joining us again because his internet apparently crapped out on him, so he's back. Final installment. Yes, I'm changing the name of the show. It's still Indie Volt, but it's Indie Volt Live Wire. That's all. Live wire, like a wire on the floor. Which actually is it's 2 people that came in the name was Eric and my wife. My wife gave me the name of Live Wire. And Eric made a joke about don't pick up that live wire. We're driving around. And I'm like, yeah, that's the name of the show from now on. Eric said it, my wife said it, so there we go. Yeah. Stinch says, you asked something from a tree, but not money. And
what does that mean exactly? You don't know how much money I can pull out of a tree.
I'm gonna cut that thing down. I'm gonna sell it for firewood. Who says money don't grow on trees?
I'm from New York. We grab a stump and we chase somebody with money till we get it out of them.
Exactly. That's what it is. Like, you now have a weapon.
Exactly.
Does anybody want to say anything about to eat poorly or sleep around or not work out? Dominic, do you want to say anything?
Yeah, for real. There's no time, man. There's no time to work outside of comics. There's no time to eat. There's no time to sleep around, man. No time to sleep either. I don't know. It all comes down to perspectives, I guess, personalities. And I guess the more flamboyant end up being flagged for questions like number 3. I don't know.
What does the inverse of this suggest? That somebody who works at Marvel and DC work outside of it because they can't afford to feed themselves, apparently. They are somehow able to they eat only organic and they have monogamous relationships.
That's the implication.
So almost all of those are true. They probably eat healthier because they're on one of those weird diets where you just pick up shit that you find around that's quote unquote organic.
I watched Marvel 616 the other day, and there's a certain episode where I can say that particular person working in comics can't be sleeping around at all unless he pays for it. So,
and we all know that they don't make enough money to pay for it. So it's,
no. He's getting that bottom. You can't even pay for the good stuff.
Unless they work outside of comics.
Yeah.
So I was at the McDonald's drive-thru yesterday, and I asked the person, "Well, what else do you do?" I was like, "I'm an editor at Marvel."
Yes, indeed.
They're gonna bring that back up on us one day. All right, here we go. Next question. This is from Wallace, who has wrote in before. And Wallace says,
Rusty Wallace? All right. Why do indie comic creators stream from the worst possible cars, toilets, bedrooms while making love? Show some professionalism, dumbbells.
Wallace. I have never streamed while making love. Ever. Not on purpose.
The implication is which
it was
several
one
episodes of Indie Volt are from the toilet.
It was one time.
Yeah.
Cheap sex in a motel room, right?
I rolled over my phone. I had no idea I was live.
Hold on a minute, baby. I need a shit post right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I have streamed
Hey
from my
guys, can you
bedroom,
hear me
but
at all?
yeah. I've streamed from my bedroom.
I'm gonna
but
leave and
not
come back.
indie. Okay, we'll be here. We ain't going anywhere till 11 o'clock. I've streamed my personal channel from my bedroom, like to show something, but I have never done like a stream. Yeah.
What streams is Wallace watching?
Seriously.
Yeah. When he says
Drop the
car,
links in the comments.
yeah. Is he talking about? Is he talking about Zach Buzz of Cars? Is that like? Cause Zach,
Maybe like the here's the comic on my knee review.
yeah.
Mhm.
Well, full
I just want
disclosure,
to
I'm not
know
on
if
a toilet,
anybody's
but
watched had sex during the stream.
good lord.
Like,
I am in my
so is he
bedroom.
watching
Yeah.
OnlyFans and just got it mixed up? He clicks the wrong StreamYard link.
Dominic says he's in his bedroom. Yeah, Dominic's
Yeah,
in his
for real.
bedroom.
This is my battleship. This is my Tron. Like this is my everything. So it's my office. It's my camera's on my drafting table right now. It's just like a big mix. I'm trying to make it look like a domino, and then one day it'll all work.
I don't. What do you think, JD? I mean, you stream from that same room. You never
This
stream
is
from the
my
toilet.
office.
Yeah.
This is my office. So, I mean, I think it might be interesting if I grabbed my laptop, went to the bathroom, took a dump while, I was talking to you guys, but, I don't know how interesting it'd be to everybody else,
New challenge for JD's stream.
Exactly. That's the new challenge.
The dump interviews.
Mhm.
Now,
All right,
that
we got like 20 minutes. Let's go.
Right.
Daphne's the scenery behind Daphne's changed. It used to be set diagonally, like you could see like a bird cage in the back, a couple other things.
That was
and
her office.
yeah, and then now she has it turned and there's art behind her. So I don't know where she's at now. But
She's invaded my space.
oh, okay. Yeah.
But the other room.
Okay. Did that happen while you were at work? You came home and it'd been okay.
She gave me a heads up and I was like, fine.
Yeah, okay. All right. Now at least you got a heads up.
Yeah.
I come home and shit's different. I'm like, oh, I see now. This is what we're doing.
Now, whose cars are we talking about? Like, that we're getting.
Yeah, are they cool cars?
Who does videos from cars?
I know Zach does videos from cars. Your boy Zach, he does, but
Right.
I've done streams from my car before.
You know what? Rob does car videos.
I was just gonna bring that up.
Yeah. Rob does car videos, but those aren't comic book related.
Yeah, no, those are his "You're Not Alone" things.
Mhm.
Like, I'm at a point where like I am on the road a lot, and I try to get as much screen time as possible because I'm brand new. So like I literally every single time I have a show, if it's something where I'm like, all right, I'm not technically doing anything, so I can stop somewhere, sit in a parking spot, and just not be on camera. Or if I am on camera, just hold the phone like in a vice grip so that it doesn't shake.
Yeah. You know what? These things here, these little holders I got, they make all the better. I mean, they actually make things a lot better because you get the cameras and shaking, and it's really cool. I prefer those if I can. Patrick Murphy says, "Sup everyone," and CM Boo says, "At least we won't smell it." Yeah,
Pat's my student, actually.
yeah. Well, get yourself like a nice laptop. Figure out. I'm telling you guys right now. If you have an Ollie's in your neighborhood, Ollie's has webcams for like $14. They're pretty nice. Lola's shoe cam was like $5 at Five Below. So there are some webcams out there that you can get that are somewhat decent. Go ahead and get yourself a webcam.
I mean, and as you said, most laptops have like a pretty solid webcam and mic going on with that.
Yeah.
Is that echo coming from me?
I don't hear it. We don't hear an echo.
I get an echo
I'm just
too.
going crazy. It's all good.
Here we go. The final question of the night, which is going to piss a lot of people off.
Wait, I do have one more comment on this last question.
Okay.
considering the quality of a lot of mainstream comic books, it might be advantageous to have a flushing sound once in a while when you're doing the reviews.
Oh
yeah.
goodness!
I couldn't keep that one inside.
Did you let the McDonald's employee that was a Marvel manager know that you needed the flushing sound for when you when you did the review of his book?
It
was bad. It's bad enough that he's losing his job, Eric. We all know Bloodbath.
And we're going in lockdowns again here. There's no toilet paper, so at least I still have their comics.
Ouch.
You should have just told him. You should have asked him, Eric. You should have told him, sir, aren't you tired of serving up crap every day?
At which job?
Yeah. Here we go. Final question.
Okay, all right. Beware, comic creators. Why in the name of everything sweet and holy are you folks paying fly-by-night editors anything more than a credit in your book? A comic book editor is worth his or her salt. Will have very least bachelor's degree in English. Okay, so a comic book editor that's worth their salt will have at least a bachelor's degree in English. More important than that, experience with proofreading, journalism, writing, communications. Anything less is obviously absurd. Scott Austin.
Can I quickly throw in my 2 cents here?
Sure.
So I got to meet a pretty famous comic book writer here a while ago. And I shouldn't say famous; he's more infamous at this point. But this is a guy that literally in every single one of his books, and this is from the mainstream where those editors it's a requirement. You have to have a bachelor's degree and everything. This guy published 6 stories taking place in World War II, where he called them the Great War, which was what they called World War I, not World War II. And I called him out on that in public, and he told me that I should be his editor. Guess what, boys and girls? I don't have a bachelor's degree in English. So this comment is a load of shit. It doesn't require any of that. You can get all the education that you can from a bachelor's degree in English by going to a fucking public library and writing your own blog.
The problem with that, though, the problem with that is, and I agree, I don't think you need paper or that degree to be good at something. What the heck is that?
that was a car driving. I apologize. I forgot to. I
thought it was an improvised question.
But my problem with that is that it leads to people who just want to jump in the industry because they can. You got a lot of out there, I think I heard it earlier, a lot of comic book groupies that jump in. Oh, I want to be a comic artist now, or a comic editor now. And this is the quickest way for me to get in. We used to say that the quickest way to get in was through being a inker. But you still have to hold some type of artistic ability.
See, I would say that a lot of the people who the comics that this person is obviously upset over with the editors, they probably do have a bachelor's degree. They probably are college material, because college material is worth shit nowadays. And there's this the stereotype is you go to college, you're smart. No, you can have all the degrees in the world and be dumb as hell. And a lot of these people who are getting these jobs, they're not even serious about this as a job, because one of the things that, and I think we've touched on this in a previous episode, that editors used to do is they used to manage continuity across comics, a continuity of looks, not just grammar and punctuation, but full-blown continuity with stories of the past and references here and references there. They're not doing any of that. They're just looking for a resume, put this on their resume so they can go get a screenwriting job in Hollywood in a couple of years.
Yeah, 100%. And it's just this whole thing is just ludicrous. I understand that when you are hiring especially an editor, Like when you're looking at somebody that is an editor, I feel like an editor should be able to put up like 3 or 4 cross-reference material pieces, like 3 books at least that they have edited. If they've done if they've worked in any sort of online journalism, apply that as well. Because your editor is the person that needs to tell you, hey, asshole, this works and this doesn't. So like you definitely want someone with experience, but to say that they have to have a bachelor's degree, that's stupid. Because as Eric just said, you can be the biggest jackass on the face of the planet and have 6 freaking bachelor's and a master's degree. It doesn't matter with a damn, because 101 level courses are literally things that you can pass on general anesthesia. Like it's not exactly what you'd call difficult. And even when you're getting into your advanced courses in your bachelor's degree program, it's really not weeding anybody out. You're not really getting to that point where like you're getting really quality education in the field until you get into your master's or doctorate. So like this whole idea is like, oh, they need a bachelor's. They need an interest, and they need to show that they've done this before. They don't need a stupid piece of paper that says, well, I got a bachelor's from the University of George Washington in English arts and feminism. No, that's not what you, like.
Well, let me. Trico says there's an editor who uses a red pen. They wrote a script for a board game where aliens had a caste system instead of a caste system. Save yourself $75 and hire a real editor. LOL. And the problem with that is that, I mean, you know, there's all the degrees in the world and dumb as hell. Wait a minute, Arizona with that remark. Trico does have a lot of degrees, but he has I think he has a master's in English. So he would be somebody I would say, hey, you know what? I'll hire this guy, and I think he would command a higher price point than say someone who did not have that. But
you know what Trico also has that, you know, a lot of other people don't. He is a teacher. Mm-hmm. He actively looks at like probably hundreds of probably atrocious essays a day, and has to do this sober enough to catch that stuff when he's doing it for his job, because he has it, like, you know, Trico is the kind of guy that if you've talked to him, like, he's not just going to be giving his students an easy A. They're going to earn every freaking grade. And so like he's an educator. So like while there are definitely, that's like a thing where that's a whole other conversation that we won't even get into. But even still, if I saw that you were an educator in history or English or anything like that takes a lot of writing skills, that you're going to be looking through a lot of long essays and what have you, you probably know a little bit about proofreading.
And I think I cut JD off. JD, were you gonna say something?
Well, you see this?
Maybe bring it. Hold on. Yeah.
See that?
Mm-hmm.
You need one of those, and you need a Chicago manual style of guide, a Chicago manual style guide. Mm-hmm. Those are the things you need as a writer and as an editor. You read those. You make sure you go through them at least once a year, so your mind is always refreshed. I would suggest every 6 months, but you go through them, you read them, so that you make sure you're not looking like an idiot. You know, I got a friend. He's a professional proofreader, and he has these. I mean, and he gave me one of his copies, and because he saw I was an idiot. So, and the copy he gave, because they change it every year, so he gave me the prior year, and you should see it, is like meticulously noted. Like, he has little post-it notes. He said these are the things that are most important, you know, and it's important to go through these things and learn these things. And yeah, you don't need a college education for it. You just have to have an eye for detail.
Yeah, I was going to say detail too. For sure, detail.
Mm-hmm. I reached out to a couple editors. One I heard back from Chuck Pinnell. Chuck Pinnell says he had to leave. He was going to come in and say something about this, but he did want to. He did give me a statement to read off. He says, "This is such a ridiculous statement. I don't have a bachelor's degree, though apparently I somehow knew that it needed an apostrophe, unlike yourself. but I have studied at the feet of many trained professionals. Rather than going to school, I focus my learning entirely on the nuances of comic creation. You won't learn how to properly evaluate lettering or understand that a 2-page spread can't be on page 5 and 6 or any of these things unless you study beyond all of that. I understand wanting some of those qualifications at Marvel or DC, but in indies, you should be looking for someone who has the passion, knowledge, and experience to help you with your project in the ways you require. Do all pencils need art degrees? Many don't have them. They learned along the way because it was important to them and they wanted to be the best. So instead of worrying about this elitist bullshit, maybe just do what I suggest. Ask about their experience in the field, their resumes, get some recommendations for good editors, and check with the other clients to see how they did.
How many degrees do you think Jack Kirby and Stan Lee had?
None.
Yeah.
Exactly, but they did the work. Right, they did the work, and I'm sure, I'm sure they could have gotten a master's degree or a doctorate in any of these subjects. It's just they were busy actually doing things.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't. One guy once told me, he said, "Look, college is for people who don't know what they want to do. Okay, if you know what you want to do, you're gonna go do it. There's certain things you need to go to college for to get it, to become that, like a doctor or a lawyer. You have to go to college for those things. But there's plenty of things that you don't need to go to college for, and you can just do.
Yeah, no, and like this is a whole other thing where you're like, there is
go to college for it to get it.
There you go. Sorry about that. I'm sorry. There were links on Randy's video, but it's not private, so I was trying to see what they were. Go ahead. I'll
JD, were you going?
No. You're all set, bro. Go.
So like to me, there's this whole myth. It's like you have to go to college to do this, that, the other. As JD put it out there, like, a lot of the guys that have gotten into like even this industry or whatever, they just went out there and did it. And so what you need is passion. You need dedication. You need the tools, but like, as I said, you can get all the tools to do this shit at a fucking public library.
Mm-hmm.
Like to quote the whole freaking Goodwill Hunting things, like you spent hundreds of $1,000s on an education that you could have gotten for $1.50 in late charges at your local library. Like, it's so true, because like all like you could like every area across the country has public libraries. They have all these things where you can go and you can even check out like trade paperbacks of successful comics and study panel layout. You can go and you can get these literary tools like the style books that JD was showing. Like, it's not hard to go do. It's just dedication. And I guess it is something that you have to put the effort in. There is effort there. There will be difficulties in that aspect, but like, people need to stop making excuses for themselves. Literary tools.
Keeps doing it. I'm sorry.
Like the style books that,
there we
that
go.
JD was showing.
I keep trying to see. There are comments, guys, that we're not seeing, so I'm sorry. I want to read them, but Jody McPhee says, I work a 9 to 5 as computer tech support. I support my cheat day when it comes to food, and I'm engaged. I don't figure in this assumption that was about the guys that sleep around. Travis Gibbs says, I mean, Stan Lee had a degree in the streets. So yeah, but that's sorry, I can't see those comments because they're, and guys, I'm sorry if you wanna me to see those comments, I'm sorry because Randy isn't on. He should be here pretty soon, but he hasn't set his profile to public, so I can't see the comments. So hop onto my Facebook or the Indie Volt Facebook, and I'll be, or the YouTube better yet, and I can see those comments. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
I think I pretty much finished what I was going for. Is you're only limited by your own determination to get where you want to be. Mm-hmm. If you're not invested in getting into this career, then you're not going to go anywhere with it, unless you're Sam Keith.
Glenn Ford says, "Hey guys, I realized Indie Volt is the last Indie Volt live by that name. It's going to be Indie Volt Live Wire from now on. So yeah, that's where we got that from.
My final thought on this question. It's kind of going off what Odin said. When I was doing teaching, one of the things that I said to one of my students that really resonated with him is I told him, look, you're not going to learn anything here at school that you don't teach yourself. You're not going to, just come into school is not going to help you. You need to be a self-starter. If you're not learning what you want to learn here, do it on your own. If you've got the resources, do it. And that kid took it and ran with it. He learned 3D modeling on his own. The school didn't have any resources for that. And he went to College for Creative Studies on a scholarship.
Awesome.
You either have the skills to teach yourself something or you don't. And if you don't, I hope you can work menial labor, because you're not gonna get anywhere if you're not a self-starter. We live now more than ever in a doers economy. Nobody's going to say, don't go to school to learn to make video games. They're making video games now.
Yeah.
That's everything.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Glenn said, so it's the same show, same crazy. That's right, Glenn. We're not changing anything. It's just the name is changing. That's all. And there's a reason for that. You guys will see pretty soon. So, yeah. But yeah, I guess I agree. I would like to say, though, that make sure that if you are, I'm getting some feedback. Hold on. Let's see who that is. Is it Odin? Yeah, it was Odin. If you are hiring people, do some research, figure out who they are, what they can actually do. We make the jokes about it on the show. There are some grifters out here who will take your money and run, be they artists, editors, writers. There's all types of people out here. It's very easy for somebody to jump in. I've been duped by several inkers, so now I send out copies of my pencils so that no one can, do a hack job on my actual pencils and send me back, months to have to redraw a page or a couple of pages. So
Vern, I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut in, but show us some of those pages.
they're over there. They are. They're over there. There's some pretty bad pages. I'll show you guys off the air if you want. There are some bad pages, and I imagine it's like this. If somebody wants to break in the industry and they want to break in on the art side, the easy things for them to do is to come in as an inker. If they want to break in on the literary side, then it's easy to do it as a inker. I'm sorry, an editor, because they can kind of fake it until they make it.
No, I don't know. I don't know about that.
I've seen it.
I know that there are people that do it, but it's one of those things where if you try and go in as an editor and you screw up on one project, you're done. Especially if it's your first thing, because that'll go around real quick. You're being put in a position of trust.
And hopefully people spread the word.
Well, I don't know. I mean, are we talking about on the indie level, or are we talking about Marvel and DC? Because there's plenty of those guys who screw up over and over again.
Marvel and DC don't count. You don't actually have to be good at your job. Let's just focus on the thing that we know right here.
Right. Just to clarify, I just wanted to make sure. But yeah, I mean, if you're gonna invest in an editor and you're an indie guy, definitely, look at their prior work. And look and get other opinions. You already got an editor, that's cool, but you can always, we all have friends within this industry, and you can always talk to somebody else who maybe has a little bit more experience. Say, listen, take a look at this stuff that my editor did. Tell me if this is on, this is on spec. And and that's usually the easiest way to do it. The more eyes you have on something, the better.
They may also be a writer whose work you can check out.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. I was reminded that I did have, one second, I do have, I think that's it, right? I do have pages at my art desk, but that was my inks. So, there we go.
So small.
Blow it up.
Yeah, there are pages. There's some pages from my art desk. There we go.
Wow.
Nice.
Hey, showing some receipts finally.
Yeah. I've been drawing. I've been drawing.
Nice.
But I haven't been I haven't drawn today. I haven't drawn today. I was thinking about getting over there and doing it, but yeah. So yeah, thanks, Travis. Just a reminder, those are poorly drawn, those poorly inked pages, even though I inked them. And CMBO says, yeah, we are missing something. Maybe variance. Yeah, I should bring back. I bring back the shoe cam. It won't be as nice though. I guarantee you, it'll be Nikes. It won't be heels or anything. It's funny though. She just got a pair of heels delivered to the PO box for her. It was pretty weird, so she can't wear them. But well, she could wear them, but she's not on the show, so oh well. But she did make an appearance earlier. She popped in to say hi to Eric. That was cool. Yeah. So we were done with that question. I was waiting for Randy, but he's still over there gossiping. So we're gonna move on.
You know how old people get. They start talking about lawnmowers and the sunshine and stuff.
He'll show up
back in my day.
Yeah, he'll show up at he'll show up at 11 o'clock. It's time for the show, guys, and it's wait a minute. What is it, Dominic?
Varian, I think
Dominic so like I have proof that it doesn't come down to a degree.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I ended up going to San Diego in '96, and then Dave McKean's like, "Oh, you could be a real artist, you know, with like, you know, Ivy and shit, whatever."
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, "Go to school, go to art school for sure." But what had happened like 2 years prior is I had met Jay Lee in Montreal, and he was like, "Well, just send me your samples at Marvel, and I'll get you in," which is like a ludicrous story, but it happened. Meanwhile, I'm like trying to finish high school, and like I'm not thinking like of breaking in that early. Besides, like other people have broken in earlier. I was 17. Was it dumb not to go? Yeah, probably. But at the time, you know, '94, it was the whole indie fallout, and Marvel wasn't cool, and like that was really important. And I didn't have the guts to tell Jay Lee, "Well, I really want to be at Image," and like that was it. That was the end. And then 2 years later, I'm in San Diego trying to get work, and like no, it's like there's no work left. The bubble is bursting. That's it. You're gone. So you go the indie route. But I have a personal story that's completely different from everyone else's. But you know, for now, it's like indie or die. Like create your own for sure.
Yeah.
So let's do this. That's primarily why I said no. And the offer came before college. So it comes down to passion, dedication, experience, and working your ass off, whether you're an editor or an artist.
And look, I see people in the industry who, you know, there are people who come in the industry and they have that passion because they haven't quit yet. Because I mean, I've seen a lot of people came in. Unfortunately, I held the door for a lot of them. Hey, get in here, and it ended up, you know, they end up being people who probably shouldn't have been here. But the thing is, those people after a while.
Oh, what?
I didn't hear you. What?
Nothing. I just had to cough.
Oh, those people will eventually leave. They will eventually leave. They will, because they won't find the money. They won't find the quick success that they were hoping was here. So they'll leave. But you got to have that passion, like Dominic said, and then you know, hopefully,
never quit.
Yeah, they don't quit, and then they keep at it. However, you know, it's not for everybody either. I mean, we've got people who, hell, some days I wonder if I'm supposed to be here. You know, you do a couple back-to-back bad conventions, and you start to wonder if you should be here or not. Yeah. So I did want to bring up couple quick things in the news. I'll bring this up here. It's kind of exciting in a way. Me and Eric are huge fans of the Hubert School. In fact, we both got correspondence courses.
Cool.
And they announced today. Oh, let me see here. I'll pull it up. I thought I had it pulled up there, but apparently I do not. They announced today that they are doing courses. So not courses, actually, they're basically you can get your books or your projects taken over or held, I won't say held, but helped along by their student body, their alumni, which is pretty exciting in a way. I like the idea, and I know it's here. 1 second. Where did it go?
I know I can get a good cheap haircut if I go to the barber school.
Yeah, I'll bring it up here. So it's the oops, did we lose? Oh, we sure did. The Kubert School Art Agency, founded by legendary comics and commercial artist Joe Kubert. The Kubert School has been committed to providing a professional education specializing in commercial and graphic arts for over 45 years. The school's faculty and alumni network can be found in every aspect of the commercial arts and entertainment fields, including advertising, storyboarding, animation, web design, graphic design, and of course, comic books with publishers like DC Comics, Marvel Comics, and more. Utilizing this unique position, we are proud to announce the Kubert School Art Agency, leaning to the specialties of our curriculum and alumni. The Kubert School Art Agency specializes in, but not be limited to, logo, social media branding, marketing materials, digital and print, newsletters, business-to-business assets, and OOH materials, storyboards, and comps. Embracing our comics legacy will also provide pre-press, lettering, and production service to small press publishers, self-publishing, and crowdfunding creators and entrepreneurs, as well as editorial service. Says Anthony Marquise, the school president, says the Kubert School is always looking for new ways to grow our course of study and adapt to the commercial art industry through the adoption of new technology and techniques. We will continue to strive toward fostering new talent who will continue to fulfill the mission statement and legacy set by our founder, Joe Kubert. The Kubert School Art Agency looks forward to speaking with you about developing creative solutions to fit your need and budget. And when I saw that, I said, oh, well, that's really cool. I really want to have, I think that's good for letterers, especially. Oh my God, great.
Indie Comics needs better letterers. We all can agree to that.
Yeah. So I thought that's
students or graduates.
The letter made it seem as if it was alumni, but I think they're allowing everybody. As long as if you're there, I believe you can work, and that's pretty cool. If you're putting money. Now, I'm not sure who's getting paid, and I know. Here's the thing: the reason why we're talking about it is because when I got the email and I was talking about it to some people were like, "Wait a minute, are they monetizing their student body? Are they making extra dough off their?" You see, JD, and are they basically like? Because I remember I worked for a place years ago that we had to go into a factory and do work, and the factory gave us, which sounded good. The factory was giving me $16 an hour, only to discover that they were actually paying the people who contracted to have me in there $35 an hour. So they were, the 16 I was making was, and oh, wait a minute, come on. But yeah, so I guess the first question arises is it ethical if they're using current students?
Well, there are similar studio models where you come in, pay for table space, learn from the head, and then maybe you guys all break in together, but there's a weird rapport between how much you're putting in and how much someone else is putting in. I mean, it's tough because should it happen? I don't know. This is a loaded question. Holy moly. Okay, so we have to establish baselines on what's ethical, I think. But otherwise, it's kind of interesting, all right?
The question is, I think we all established the baseline as if I would do it. If Arian would do it, it's JD, what were you going to say? You said
the thing is that I don't think they're going to be using their students. They're going to be using their faculty. Mm-hmm. So if it's their faculty, these are people that tend to have quite a bit of experience. They've worked within the industry. So, you're getting some quality, or hopefully you'll be getting some quality feedback. But the problem is that one, what are you paying for that feedback? Two, is let's say if you do work with them and they do advise you on something, right? And your thing jumps off and you end up on Netflix and you end up in all this stuff. You end up with all these toys and you end up making a lot of money. What's their cut?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that's the other thing. You understand? Where does that figure into this? So
Is it
there's
a
a lot of things
unique?
to look into.
I'm going to jump in. Is it a unique case per case basis, or is it like this is the blanket contract? Like this, it becomes an ad agency in New York City, right? I mean, it becomes a big deal. It's a huge deal. It's a huge deal.
My first thought was is this a COVID survival play? Because they don't have students in there. They don't have students in there paying their tuition. They've been trying to do some Zoom classes. I'm sure that's not going as well as they hoped. So this to me just seems like this is another revenue stream to keep the doors open till the crisis goes away.
Right.
If you guys are interested in it, and they show some of the apparel designs they've done for Ninja Turtles, Ninja Turtle shirt there, business cards, branding, and they're going outside the comic book with like that branding there. That's outside of comics. That's for logo design for Die Kitty, Die Starstruck, and marketing materials as well as lettering and that type of stuff they're willing to do. So if you're interested in that, contact the Kubert School Art Agency and see what they can do for you, and let us know that hey, you've contacted them, you reached out, and and here's what they said. But hopefully it works out. Hopefully, especially if you're looking for professional lettering, this should be the place to go.
It's just weird that it's a school, right?
Well, it's.
I mean, if my art school went buck wild, like this is now OCAD U. It's like the hardcore, like everything is meta, everything is concept, everything has to be justified. If they suddenly became an art agency, you have to be so careful of not crossing so many wires. It's just, but maybe we're just used to a certain model, and this is new, and this is fine. But it just seems like it's got to be. I don't know. There's something about it that seems fishy, but I think the answer Eric gave, that it's a COVID stream, makes the most sense as a response.
I said, all right.
I kind of played devil's advocate with it. If this is the students getting to do this, there's a really good portfolio piece if you were contracted through the school to do something for company A. That ends up if you're not getting paid for it, but the school's making money, but it's in your portfolio. There's some incentive, at least, if it's a high profile project, that is.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'll be honest, guys. If the price is right for the lettering, I'd pay it. At least that's one less worry that I have, that the lettering is going to be done well. I mean, hopefully. It's like I can.
Now, what would you consider a good price for lettering?
$10 a page.
It sounds great to me. I've seen some letterers ask for. I've seen. What is it? I keep seeing 18 to 25 a page, which seems. I mean, 25 pages. Like, geez. But
that adds up fast.
Yeah, it does. And then I've seen some say, "Hey, you know what? Reach out to me. We'll do a project. We'll do it based on the project." Which is, or like Eric said, learn the skill yourself and keep applying it till you get it right. And
there's a $10 digital PDF from Comic Craft out there, all about Adobe Illustrator. Teaches you everything you need to know.
Yeah. Learn to do it yourself.
Not outdated.
Yeah. Learn to do it yourself, and then that's eventually what a lot of people have done. They've learned to do it themselves, or they at least look at that. They buy that PDF. Or I got the book. They buy the PDF or they buy the book, and as long as they have it in their library, they consider themselves a master of it. I cracked the spine on that book once, just one time.
It's great. I mean, it is an older version, a pretty old version of Illustrator, but all of the things that are in there are still applicable. As there's nothing. Any version of Illustrator, you're going to be able to do those things because it's fundamental, design and lettering. It's just all the fundamental stuff that's in there. And, it upped my game 100% easily.
Oh.
So, yeah, guys, I mean, yes, no, are you excited for this? Does this change the industry at all?
No.
You said, what was that, JD?
No.
Dominic?
Just no.
This is a big wait and see. It's like, let's check in a couple of months, see what's going on.
I mean, in the end, I mean, I wish these guys all the luck in the world, because the thing is that, you know, they are trying to keep that school open. And I think it is important for the school to stay open. You know what I'm saying? Because they do teach those next generations of comic book artists, you know, people really love this stuff, you know, how to do.
They're the only school that it's comics only, too. I don't think there's any other schools that are all comics.
There's one up in, I think, Vermont. I don't remember the name of it. But yeah, I think there's another school up in Vermont somewhere.
Should have the
documentary.
It's like a super exciting. It's like a super exciting with like 3 question marks, because it's so surprising, and maybe that's a good thing for them because it'll get them all the press they need.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's surprising.
Yeah, like you said, shocking. I mean, if they have, like you said, if the price is right, you know, anything can happen, right? You know,
right.
If they bang out, you know, if they can color your books for $25 a page, you know, you're like, hey, you know, maybe we'll think about this.
Yeah. All right, let's take. We'll go to. I was waiting for Randy with this one, but apparently he's stuck over another show. So, all right. So I got an email today. You guys, you know, we thought the publisher space was crowded, but it is not. Apparently, it is not crowded. It is. There's room, and that's fine. There's always room for more publishers. Mm-hmm. So today got a major announcement from Pop Cultivator. Okay, Pop Cultivator, they're going to be the first ever fan-owned comic book studio. And Odin's back there. The first fan-owned ever comic book studio.
Am I still having feedback, by the way?
I'm not hearing it right now. No.
Awesome. Okay.
So I'm gonna read the email from you guys. I'm gonna I'll put the email up on the screen so you guys can see it. I know. Show don't tell, right? All right. A special message from Devil's Due founder Josh Blaylock says hello to all our longtime readers and fans. I'm trying to tell you about one of the biggest projects I've been a part of since launching Devil's Due Comics 20 years ago. Next week, Pop Cultivator will be launching on the equity crowdfunding platform WeFunder, and this is your chance to be part of it as an early backer before it opens up to the general public. Pop Cultivator is going to be the first ever of its kind fan-owned comic book studio backed by crowdfunding. We're the ultimate task force of pop culture pros, artists, writers, publishers, a toy company founder, and a former Marvel editor forming a brand new studio in this multi-billion-dollar space. This opens to the general public in a week, and a supporter of our products in the past, you're the first in line to receive the early bird discount. It will be an honor and a privilege to have you on board as one of our investors. Josh Blaylock, founder and publisher of Devil's Due Comics. And there is, I've gone over to the WeFunder, and I've checked it out, and I
was today years old when I heard about WeFunder.
Yeah. Let me see if I can play this video. We'll probably get a copyright struck for it, but we'll find out. Can you guys hear that? Is there music?
Very quiet.
Okay, there's no music. Okay, well, I'm gonna, because I just know they don't have the rights to the music. I just know it in my heart. I just know it. I can feel it. No, I'm not gonna play the music. I'm not here. Actually, yeah, I am. Because if we don't, then I'll say thanks, Josh. Hold on. Good job, Josh. Sweet Josh.
Great job getting this copyright struck, Josh.
Yeah, here we go.
Hi, I'm Josh Blaylock.
Yeah.
And I have the privilege of bringing this brand new pop culture concept to WeFunder, Pop Cultivator.
Say word.
A brand new kind of studio. Together an amazing group of pop culture industry pros and teams them with you to create a brand new comic book empire. This is really the next evolution in comic book crowdfunding, whereby instead of the fans and the readers and backers just investing in product and getting rewards shipped to them, you actually own a piece of the intellectual property itself. That means not just the comics, but everything that spins out of them, from merchandise to collectibles to even film. I've been making comic books for over 20 years. I'm largely known for bringing G.I. Joe back into circulation in the beginning of the 2000s and starting an 80s retro trend in comics. Most recently, I just set up one of my own comic books, Mercy Sparks, for a movie option with MGM Studios. And the people on my team are just a whole group of extremely impressive people. Mike Horn, our Chief Business Development Officer and the former founder of Palisades Toys. Mike has brokered partnerships with the NFL, Star Wars, Lucasfilm, even Jim Henson's Muppets. Jose Garibaldi, the colorist of the Captain Underpants and Dogman books of the past 8 years, a visual development artist on Netflix's Captain Underpants animated series, and character designer for Nickelodeon's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and the creator of 2 exciting new properties we have in store. Mark Powers, a former Marvel editor overseeing the entire X-Men family of comic books, a prolific writer, and former editor of Devil's Due for the G.I. Joe comics. And just a whole group of extremely impressive people, all who have their hands in some aspect of the comic book and pop culture space. And what we're doing is simple. We are raising funds to put this team to work to create and acquire amazing new comic book content. And we know what we're doing and we want to get it to market. It's a fun industry to be in. It's exciting. And most importantly, it is booming, even right now, despite the pandemic. In times of recession, comic books have always shown resiliency, and now is no different. Kids sales for comics are booming right now, seeing double-digit growth year over year. The industry as a whole, despite the pandemic, is going to see a double-digit growth over 2019. And when it comes to the more superhero adult content people are used to, between Hollywood and the streaming wars and tech coming in to wanting to develop original content, there just almost aren't enough comics out there to satisfy everyone's demand. And as shareholders, of course, you don't just own a piece of what the company owns. You're actually included in part of the process along the way as these.
One of you guys just made a face.
You get to be actually like a part of seeing these things come together, being kept in the loop.
I need to hand it to this guy.
Publishing pipelines for the projects that we develop, and you actually get to be a part of seeing how an independent comic book concept gets nurtured from the very, very beginning all the way to hopefully the big time. Like if you were able to participate in helping the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles when they were just ideas in the creators' minds. Seeing as the event space opens back up, as we start to push these out into the comic book world, as we find creators to work with and other creators who bring ideas to us that we are able to help and bring to market, all the while keeping our investors involved. So it's something that's going to be really rewarding and fun. And most importantly, this is something we've all done before. So we know how to do something small scale and cool, and we know how to scale it all the way up to the big time. I mean, if that means if it needs to be on the shelves in Walmart, if it needs to be a major motion picture, if it needs to be a console video game, somebody in our crew has done it. We'd be honored to have you on board to help us achieve our mission. We have some lofty goals, but within a few short years, we'll be celebrating this new concept of Pop Cultivator as having become a major force in the pop culture industry.
I am never playing poker. Well, actually, not if it's teams with JD, because there was something JD he shook his head like he couldn't understand what he had heard. So I'll start with JD first. Jay, what do you think?
It's interesting. I mean, I was just looking at the WeFunder site, and that shake might have come from that, because it looks like it's more a site that they sell stock. You understand? So, it's not like you're just backing a campaign for $20. Yeah. I was just looking at something that they raised like, $700,000 and with like 700 backers. Mm-hmm. So you're talking about they're raising what, $1,000 per backer. So you're literally buying a portion of the company.
Yeah.
But these things, man, I mean, it's a corporation. It's going to be an LLC. Things can go south real. I mean, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but but things can go south real fast. You understand? I mean, you can be capitalized to the teeth. Think of Jim Shooter. Think of Broadway comics. Capitalized to the teeth. New owner comes in and says, yeah, you're done. And that was the end of that. You understand? These guys, you can give them $500,000 today. They'll run through that in 6 months, just paying people's salaries. Okay? People want to get paid. People don't want to make $40,000. They hear new startup. What? Oh, 150,000, no problem. 100, whatever. You understand? So you can run through that capitalization real fast. So unless they're going to raise 50, 60, 70 million dollars, which I don't see happening, it's going to be tough to pull that off.
Yeah. Randy doesn't like the idea at all. But fortunately, he's not here to talk about it. Eric, what do you think?
It leaves a bit of a bad taste in my mouth. I don't want to sound redundant, but again, this seems like a COVID-19 survival strategy for these people who are involved.
That's your answer to everything tonight.
Yeah, well, we Barry and I talked about these two issues before we went live on the show, and it's just kind of like kind of my hot take on it is that this is a survival strategy, because if you look at the business models of Devil's Due, for example, I mean, yeah, he had the great hit with doing G.I. Joe over again, and Hasbro realized, oh crap, there's a market for this. He lost the license pretty quickly, and it got into IDW's hands, and Hasbro, for the most part, basically owns IDW now at this juncture. But there hasn't been anything since that. And these names that he's dropped, these aren't exactly names that are just like screaming out to me, that person is going to help make me a success. So there's a bit of a grift vibe for this. Again, I hope, I would love for something like this to work out. And then kind of bouncing off what JD said is like this whole WeFunder seems like an end around against going public with an IPO, issuing stock, having the licensing fees and the securities and exchange fees, trying to get around doing that. Mm-hmm. And there's and by going around that, there's no enforcement mechanism to punish these guys if they run to Tijuana with your money.
Mr. Owen, you're gonna say something?
Man, how to articulate this without feeling like a broken record. Look, this whole thing kind of stinks to me, and for all the reasons that everybody's already said. But the other big thing here is what exactly, so everyone here, I feel, has talked about at some point this evening about these kind of hacks that come into this industry, not looking to make comic books, but looking to get onto Netflix and do all of this stuff except comic books.
Right.
And that's literally what this fucking thing is. That's literally what it's. They don't even have the balls to say comic books. It's pop culture. Stop. All right. Like, I think it's actually your boy Zach actually mentioned this in one of his videos. There is so much more money in just making good comics than there is in going in and getting a Netflix deal. Like you even look at some of these star actors. I think it was one of the actresses from Cobra Kai literally got pulled off for the third season because she had to, I think it was because she had to put a crowdfunding thing out there because she got sick and she didn't have enough money to cover the treatments that she got very ill. Wow. So it's not like these people, like these are the people that star in their shows. And if they're not making enough money to make ends meet and take care of themselves, what the hell do you think you're going to get? Right? Like right now you have an opportunity to really take your own project, bring it direct to the market, bring it direct to the customer, and really showcase what you got. And you don't have to share that with anybody outside of your creative team. Right. And that's new. Because you look at how these creators have worked in the past when you're at Marvel, when you're at DC, and you're like, if you're a big name, you're lucky to get 10. Yeah. Like, just, this is ridiculous. It's like, yeah, but outsource, like, they talk about the adult superhero stuff and Netflix deals and everything like that. It's like, that's not what this should be about. And yeah, you're talking about building the next big IP, but you're no different than any jackass that walks into an indie comic page claiming that they're the next Stan Lee. Like, this is
street cred.
And Dominic, what'd you say?
Well, they've got street cred, right? I mean, it is Devil's Due, right? So Devil's Due is going to have an imprint. It's going to be called Cultivator. Is that right? And then
I guess maybe it's gonna be a separate company. I'm not sure how he's
Right.
doing.
It's kind of weird because if it's such a cool idea, then do it with Devil's Due. But otherwise,
It sounds
okay,
like
so you got this new thing. You got this new thing. All right. So everyone participates. It's going to be a big mess because, Susie's going to be like, well, they didn't take my idea that I had on Tuesday, and they said they would take my idea. So that might get messy. Otherwise, it sounds really interesting, but it comes down to personalities and how you're going to treat the business. And I don't know Josh very well at all. I think I may have met him. And, I think it comes down to his personality. What do you guys know about him? Can he pull this off? Is he really a team player? Can he pull together a giant team of backers who are also creators with his creative team? It's a large project. I think it's beautiful in many ways. Oh, we can all be a part of it. It's cool, but so many things can go wrong so quickly that I just wonder why he didn't go to an angel investor. Like, how much are we expecting to make on this, initial public offering? Really,
it just sounds like middleman corporation.
Right.
And think about it. So this is to try to get investors to start the company, to pay the salaries, but then they got to go out and find creators who they can rope in. What's their take of the percentage? Like, let's say, I've got Dreaded Dinosaur Man. That thing needs to be a toy, needs to be a cartoon. I've got all these pie in the sky, ambitious plans for him. But, if I go to Pop Cultivator, what am I losing in having them do the work that I could do myself if I just, go to the Las Vegas trade show that they have. They have one in Las Vegas, one in New York, and it's all companies that come together to look for the new IPs to license. It's a licensing and branding shows. That's where you go if you want to try to get your stuff into other markets and other avenues. But you've got to have style sheets, you've got to have artwork, you've got to have you've got to have something to sell the brand to all these other companies to license it. And you might get Hasbro to license your thing for action figures. You might get them Netflix to license it for a cartoon. That's where this stuff gets done mostly, is at these like licensing and branding shows.
So how would this company treat that show?
Well, they would probably be there, and they've got all of this stuff that they've accumulated from all of these artists. They're like, oh, I'm going to hit the big time, and they just like shell it out there and see what so they're going to take a cut of what you could have gotten yourself if you really believe enough about your brand to be there yourself.
So it's like a lottery and then another lottery.
Yeah. 2 lotteries.
But that sort kind of cuts both ways, just to show you the opposite end, because to get into that show is $10,000 for a booth. So I mean, there's a lot of capitalization that you would have to put up as an individual creator, if you wanted to do that. That's the reason why someone would sign up with a company like this, so that they would take on that responsibility and they would take on that burden.
That's wise.
Right. So I mean, it just depends where you're at. And it depends what their contracts look like. Because for me, if I don't have if there's not a walkaway clause in a contract,
right,
then I'd be like, well, you can keep that one. You can just fold that up and put that in your pocket.
If you guys are looking to get involved in Pop Cultivator, it's over on WeFunder. That's WeFunder, not we like as Nintendo Wii. WeFunder.com. The minimum buy-in is $100. So they're looking for 50,000. So. Obviously that's what they need to, get the ball rolling. I don't know why my screen is fuzzy and not showing it in full glorious 1080.
Are any of you like totally in favor? Like, this might in some circumstances be totally cool? Are any of you on that ilk at all?
Absolutely not.
No.
My issue is like, they're looking to raise $50,000. We've seen crowdfunders raise hundreds of thousands. I'm like,
it's giving everything away.
Right. Yeah. I mean, just get some product together and do it. And if you're that good, you can raise 50, 100.
Look at EVS. He's a multi-millionaire with his own IP now, and he's got toys coming out, and that's where I want to be, man. That's I don't want anybody else reaching in my cookie jar.
Can I read to you guys the perks real quick?
Sure.
So if you invest for $250 or more, so if you invest, the minimum is $100, okay? But if you invest for $250 or more, You get free digital copies of all comic books the company releases and 5% discount off of retail on any physical item sales we offer directly. Okay? 500 or more, you get free digital copies of all comic books the company releases, 10% discount off all retail or any physical item sales we offer directly. 1,000 or more, free digital copies of all comic books the company releases, 20% off digital.
What?
20% off of retail or any physical items we offer directly. Now, 5,000 plus, you get the free digital copies. Wholesale level discounts for all products released directly, equivalent to the retailer discounts. All products made available to reserve at the same time they are open to wholesalers, as well as limited edition direct-to-consumer merchandise. Access to purchase comic convention passes through exhibitor, guest connections with the company when the company attends an event for 75 plus, so 7,500 plus. Free digital copies of all the comics the company releases. Purchase any products the company produces directly at cost or 70% retail discount, whichever is greater. Includes limited edition merchandise. All products made available to reserve at the same time they are open to wholesalers, as well as limited edition direct-to-consumer merchandise. Access to purchase comic convention passes through exhibitor guest connections when the company attends an event. Cost equals price of manufacturing, tariff, shipping, etc.
I think that last one might be illegal in some. I know with like Reed Pop and all that, they don't want people like, oh, hey, you can come into the show because they actively try to keep that from happening.
Yeah, Moden said it was horseshit.
This is this.
But you get a share.
Like
you get a share. It doesn't say you get a share. It says you get discounts.
You get a bunch of bric-a-brac and shit you don't need.
Well, like not even that. All right, I just invested. All right, let's say I invested $500, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the best thing that you're going to give me is free digital copies of your fucking books. You're not. I'm not going to get a single comp copy of a book that I might be interested in for like the first season of books or some shit. Like
doesn't it say you get your name in the book?
Your average American comic book buyer, if they're investing $500, that's what, like a quarter of a paycheck? So maybe even half, depending on what job the person's working.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What horse crap! Just absolute horse shit. This is horrible.
Well, how can this compete
they're not
with
even giving you
Kickstarter?
stock.
Kickstarter get more.
Well, I mean, I would look. This is for a whole company. Now, if I were to go give Eric $500, I might get to write to a whole arc of a Dinosaur Man. $500.
Got December to pay. Right?
We can make that happen.
Yeah, but that's Rebel Gaming says sounds like bullshit. Smells like bullshit to me. And,
this is the kind of thing we need to have an Indie Volt poll. Does it sound cool? Does this smell like bullshit?
Yeah.
Two things. You can vote now.
Where's the Grift King thing? Like,
well, I was gonna say,
we,
does this not deserve? I think everybody's in agreement that Josh, Mr. Blaylock.
Oh my gosh.
it's
I like that.
I love that thing so
Oh,
much.
it's got edgy now.
Yeah, you are the grifter of the week, sir. This is these perks are they're not perks.
I mean, does Devil Do really have simps that would pay this money? Because I think he could make more money with his own OnlyFans account.
Dude, like this is crazy. Like for $500 on like first I've got my Indiegogo's up on demand right now, and so like at $400 you're able to buy like an original piece of art that comes with a copy of the book. You know, something of substantial value to somebody.
Yeah, you
But
get
for,
art.
like, $500 there, you're getting what?
Digital,
A
baby.
discount? Like digital copies at that point that shouldn't even be like reset on everything. It should be you get the digital stuff, and then you get copies of the whatever book you'd like. But instead, no, you get like what, a 5-10% discount off of fucking retail.
No, let's take this from an avenue as if, let's say that this is investors. I mean, they haven't mentioned getting stock or anything, but let's just say that's what they're trying to do. When you're a stockholder in a company, and I own stock, so I know because I get the prospectuses and I get the, emails that I don't read that tell me I need to vote on something I don't know about. But you do get that, you have that right because you own a piece of the company to say yay or nay. So there's nothing in here that tells me when they're going to come and say, hey, we're going to start producing this CalArts Steven Universe shit to say, no, that sucks. We're not doing it.
Mm-hmm.
You're fired. There's none of that is in here.
Yeah.
So
yeah, for 8,000 plus, I can't even get a seat at the table. I want to be able to say, hey, like they could put out.
That's all Varian wants. Varian would throw in that 8K if it meant him getting a seat at the board table with his nameplate and everything on it. It's just another title.
What if they decide to do Song of the South, the comic, with none of the cute parts? And I don't get him to say, "Hey guys, this isn't a good idea. This isn't a good idea." What if they decide to do Malcolm X Vampire Hunter? And I'm like,
that would be amazing. Varian, you need to make that book.
Yeah, I'm like,
you need to stop putting gold ideas out there.
Yeah, like I don't want to do Malcolm X. Like, can you imagine that? Could you imagine Malcolm X the Ghostbuster? Like he's going around there. He's like, it'd be horrible. And I can't stop the book from happening. But I'm on the board. I'm not even on the board. I'm just, you know what it is?
It's a free digital copy of it.
Yeah. You know what it is?
Yeah.
I'm a hoe. Think about it. I've been pimped.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a hoe. Here's my money, daddy. I'm standing on the corner. Come and get it.
So it's pop culture OnlyFans is what it is.
Yeah, I did. I did put a poll up, and it's in the chat. If you guys want to go over there and vote, it's a straw poll on what you think about Pop Cultivator. Here's our money or grift. Feel free to vote on that, guys. We'll look at it toward the end of the show.
Do they have any investors, Varian?
It's early bird right now, so there's no one up there yet. I do not believe it's still early bird.
I have to keep checking in on this every week or so to see where it's at.
I feel like we found our new equivalent of that Star Wars comic that was up on Kickstarter that didn't fund.
Yeah, I mean, look, guys. I mean, this is okay. Reviews. Let's see. People are. What investors say? There's somebody. 1, 2, 3, 4 people invested. Joe Hernandez, Sharon Burns, Mike Drescher, and Dean Hawkey. They've invested. I'm a huge fan of Legion M, so I already know and love the model of a fan-owned entertainment company well. I found you guys for the first time when you did the AOC premieres. Looking forward to seeing what you can do with the crowd base pushing you forward. And yeah, there we go.
Wait, by the AOC premieres, do they mean the AOC comic that's like god awful?
Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of just scratch your head at and go, why the fuck would anyone buy this?
Yeah.
This is like a.
She has
Can I jump in?
You can make more money with her.
Go ahead.
Okay, so there's a lot of glitz and maybe good ideas, but its execution is out of step with my zone as a comic book creator. It's not in my zone as a comic guy, and maybe it's not for us, and maybe it's not for us to comment because it's for people who don't like comics but want to be a part of it. This is their only way how. They don't have the creativity. They don't have the ends. I don't know. It's like a really, I think it has a lot of potential, but the execution seems heavy-handed in what you were talking about, Varian.
Yeah. You make a good point. You make a solid point there. I think you're definitely onto something.
We'll see. We'll keep looking at this, and the minute they run the Tijuana of everybody's money, we'll be able to say.
Hey, I'm just gonna say publicly, I hope it proves us wrong.
Yeah,
I hope it proves me wrong. Gangbusters, go for it if it works. gets other people movie deals and whatever. But you know, again, it's not about the comics, and so
sometimes you have to ask though.
What the fuck is the matter with people in this business?
I know he's not here, but I did want to take a look at his project real quick because he's having internet troubles. Keith was here earlier. He's got Road to Valhalla #1.
Alex bought.
Yeah, a supernatural Viking horror epic.
This book looks so fucking cool. I keep seeing the art all over the place, and I need to back. This looks really awesome.
Let me play the intro. Let me play the video. Hopefully, if I get copyright struck by Josh Blaylock, that'll happen too, right? Do you guys hear that or no? Was there music?
He has nothing.
Negative.
Okay. All right. Hold on. Let me go back.
Look at though. Maybe it plays after.
I'm getting tired watching that.
I need words. I'm stupid.
Lots of work.
Hi, I'm KJ Murphy.
I'm Jonas Cavallis.
We are Guildworks Publications with Hector Rodriguez, who couldn't be here.
We'll be here next week.
Guildworks Publications is something that we started about 10 years ago, 2009, a little over 10 years ago, but 2009. And we started with a flagship title, Hell's Blood, and we've done a lot of book since. We've done a lot of hardcover books, softcover books, children. We're doing children's books now. Today, we're in this very difficult time of being stuck at home and not being at shows like we usually like to be at. So, how we've managed to get through it is we finally polished off this one story this year, and we've had the time to just make it about the story and wrote about Valhalla.
Instead of worrying about getting our stuff together for shows, we decided to focus on our craft.
So we're definitely a little late to Kickstarter, but we're here now. It's our first Kickstarter, and we're very excited about it.
And we're not going away.
So how did this come to be? Well, many years ago, I wrote a story called Torm, and it was a one-shot story about
Looks cool.
something really bad comes to Wendigo in King Philip's era. I had a really good time doing the story, and then when it was done, about 5+ years ago, I thought I'd like to do something else with it. I wanted to do more monster books. So I approached John about maybe doing something with Vikings.
Vikings and aliens.
And I was like, hell no.
No aliens.
We couldn't, well, at first we tried to fit it all in.
So Keith didn't want to draw spaceships or aliens. So we went to plan B. We wanted to use the Wendigo. We wanted Vikings.
So that
we wanted to thank you so much for taking the time to look at our project. It's totally worth the ride, and we hope that you not only buy it, but we hope that you become fans.
Yes, hang in there. We got big stuff coming. Network.
That's it.
I actually like the video. They seem very approachable in that video. Very cool. They got 7 days to go. $2,823 of a $3,200 goal over on Kickstarter. It's Road to Valhalla. Now, we like pushing the physical versions here on Indie Volt. So $15 gets you that US, gets you the printed version. Only in the United States. Shipping is February 2021. It's got 22 backers for that. So you get a copy of the limited edition print run of Road to Valhalla #1, high quality horror genre comic. So he's not here to really talk much about it. but that's why I played the whole entire video. And hopefully we can get him back on at some point. Internet troubles will halt that type of thing. Lord knows we're used to it. So, again, if you're listening, and I know a lot of you are on the radio right now, we are sitting at 47,809 people listening on Indie Volt Radio. Thank you guys. Ireland, thank you. Australia, and and a couple other places, but they're not, for some reason, their names aren't showing. So thank you guys. Appreciate you listening. Kickstarter, Road to Valhalla.
Looks cool. Back it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a-
Go check that out on Kickstarter.
That looks vicious.
Yeah. Now let's go look over at 1 second. I think Dominic, did you send me yours?
Just go to mirrorcomics.com and it all hubs there. Thanks, man. Thanks for having me on. This is such an honor. I'm such a fan. Like, I've been watching this since COVID hit, and I'm like, this is cool. They keep asking really weird questions that I ask myself. It's cool. So if you go there, you should find something.
You.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, no problem. Here we go. Mirror Comics. There we go.
Yeah. So I do comics, graphic novels, books, art. And if you scroll down just a bit, I'll show you it's so weird not to be scrolling myself. So there's a Black Friday thing going on Isneo. They're a Paris-based multi-publisher founded digital distributor, and they do apps. They do isneo.com. So you find Nintendo. They're also on Nintendo Switch. Sorry. So you even on any of those systems, they have like 2,000 free English language comics, which is really cool, and they have all the French ones, which is it's just too good. You know, you just get depressed after you see that stuff. It's just crazy. So anyway, right now we're featuring season 1 of Signal Saga. You can find more details at signalsaga.com. And Pangea and the Key of Mirari was just added. That's the number 0. It's sort of a prequel kind of weird zone thing. And then if you scroll down just a bit more, I'll show you the winter collection that's coming. I might show you the papers first. So I'm doing papers, right? So I've got this paper. It's a 96% white, 100-pound cardstock, trade secret. It's Lynx. It's the best. It's made by Dontar, and I'm creating grids. So far I have 9, and you can get any custom grid, and you can get your logo on there. So you go to logocomics.com, and you could actually click that, and you'll see what they look like. I don't know if you want to, but you just see all the different grids. So I have a trading card, tarot card, photo card, paperback, all those. And I also have oversized 12 by 18 paper. If you have a scanner that can hack that, but I also have standard 11 by 17. So basically, I did this for my own Signal Saga creation, where I drew on only this paper, except for the first few. It was so frustrating. But this paper, it has the tooth that you need so that you get the exact HB look, but it's slick. It's just the most perfect drawing paper after years of searching for it. And if you'll scroll down a final bit, I'll show you something else. So that's a cover reveal for the winter collection. And if you click on them, you'll see them a bit better. Cool. So that's Signal and the Good. That's my graphic novel collection of season 1. The Hope book, that's a bit of darkness, bit of light. It's how I got through a really rough time. And it's a nonfiction book, and both will be available on Ingram. I know you guys were talking about Ingram a little while ago. So that's a really cool place to publish. And they have a free 2020 code right now where you can upload up to 10 books for free, as opposed to the $50 standard charge. And you're in like 39,000 points of sale. It's really cool.
Okay.
And then a couple other things will be in the winter collection. And right now you can buy the fall collection, which is a little bit below, but don't worry about it. So the fall collection's at littledistro.com. And all of these kind of hub at mirrorcomics.com. So I have this English version, The Ballad of Jimmy and Rose. It's basically a fantastical telling of my parents' relationship, which is complicated. And the next one is the French version, I think.
Ah, yeah.
La Balade de Jimmy Rose. So
This is generally the one that I grab when I don't pay attention when I'm doing it at the store. And I get home like, oh, come on. I have a Spanish version of X-Men.
yeah, there you go.
Well, it was weird. I was in FYE and it was in their bargain bin. And I picked it up. I'm like, hey, X-Men on DVD. And it's like, I mean, Blu-ray is out by this point, but then I noticed that it was in Espanol.
Right.
And I said, what?
Right.
Hey,
Right.
I want to get drunk and watch this. And it's something here and watching the movie in Spanish. I mean, I know I can switch it. I can switch the language, but no, I wanted it natively in Spanish. It's awesome.
And if you want to open that bracket, it's really weird because when you translate English movies into French, it sounds ridiculous. But if you have a French story in French, or the translation is done in Canada, which is sort of in between America and Europe, you get something decent, but it's weird. And I had to really measure all of my words so that I wasn't sounding too Parisian or too bourgeois, if you guys know what that word is.
Because where are you at right now?
I'm in Ottawa.
Right. Yeah, but you were
so that's north of the Great Lakes, and it's on the border. It's between Toronto and Montreal.
Yeah.
Right. So, So I had to measure all my words really carefully. And my aunt, she's a librarian, school teacher, retired, and she had all the little rules. And there's rules, and it's not established because of prior use, like in English, where like, okay, that goes. I understand. I get it. It's like mathematical linguistics through the academy in France. So you have to be exact. So I'm venturing into French books, and that actually led me to get a grant from ACFO Ottawa, which is a community francophone, Ontario francophone community group in Ottawa, and also the government of Canada. So I basically got money to translate 6 graphic novels, which is the Pop Terre collection, into 6 bande dessinée. So I'll have a collection in English, a collection in French. My brother's doing a soundtrack, and we're going to get some films of the comic books going. So all of this is a lot of information, but it all hubs at mirrorcomics.com. And thanks for visiting. That's awesome.
Oh, no problem.
Check out that paper, man. Check out that paper. I'm going to send you some paper.
That paper looks pretty cool. I'm going to have to get some of that. Speaking of Canada, there's Chuck. Chuck has joined us.
What's up? How Chuck, ridiculous is it that you had to explain where Ottawa was when it's our fucking capital?
Fair enough. People think it's Toronto, right?
Yeah. A lot of Canadians think it's Toronto too.
Yeah.
I think Toronto thinks it's Toronto.
I'm just shocked that you guys have capitals. Like, what?
Come on.
What do you guys have capitals for? Why do you need that? Chuck was. I read Chuck's statement earlier about the editors.
How did that go?
Everyone is in disagreement with you, Chuck. No, I'm just kidding. No, everyone pretty much agrees with you that you don't necessarily need paper to be a good editor. At the same time, you do need the skill. I think everyone said you need the skill, you need the passion, you need to understand storytelling. And JD showed a book that I forgot the name of already. But
terrible. Here, look.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. That's a perfect book.
Yeah,
that's exactly the book that every editor should own. And if you don't, you're not doing your job.
I don't know that. I don't know that if it's like I personally as an editor,
There's probably a lot of words in there that you would need a thesaurus for.
Yeah, I'm like, what's that mean? Quality. You mean to say? But I do think that I get the idea. I get what Scott Allen is saying. Like, hey, there's people in there taking advantage of the industry. At the same time, I think that requiring people to have a certain degree is a little elitist.
Yeah, I mean, really, at the end of the day, there's no you can't recommend or you can't tell people what they have to have, but certainly, you've gotta actually like do a little bit of digging, look into them. I've seen an awful lot of people, and I'm like, sir, what did this person do for you? Like, what what are you talking about? That wasn't proved. I can spot 100 different issues with it, and these aren't like personal things. These are absolute serious issues with it. At the end of the day, though, also recognize that as freelancers, we work for them. So there's a lot of times where, I'll come in, and I'm sure other editors have had to do this, and they're like, hey man, this, and this needs to be changed. And they're like, yeah, but I like that stuff. And you're like, okay, but this is why it needs to be changed. And you explain everything, and they go, no, I get it, but I think it works. It's like, well, okay, but it doesn't. Yeah, but I think it does. And you're like, okay, well, where's my paycheck?
Chuck, you can't just oust our working relationship like that.
I never mentioned your name once. I didn't realize you were here, homie. Good to see you. Or not see you.
It's okay.
I do think that I think it comes across a little elitist, but at the same time, again, I don't want people taking advantage of the industry either.
Yeah.
But we can't always assume that that person, like again, I think it was Eric. I think he said that, or was it? I'm not sure who it was. It said that Stan Lee have a degree in writing. And even if he did, did Jack Kirby have all these degrees? We don't.
No.
It's about the passion and the desire that you have for this business. And Lord knows if we all had to go to college to get in this business, there'd be a lot less of us.
I mean, even going back further than that, do you think Homer had a college degree? Do you think Aristotle did? Do you think any of these people that literally define?
I've seen every episode of The Simpsons up to a certain point, and I know he doesn't have a college degree. 100%.
That's a nuclear power plant.
But the fact of the matter remains is it's like telling a good story doesn't require a piece of paper. Appreciating a good story doesn't require a piece of paper. It requires passion, and it requires personal determination and perseverance, because there are a lot of times where you're in a story and you kind of hit brick walls, and that's also what editors are for. I know that I've talked to Chuck a few times where it'd be like because Chuck and I are working on a few different things together, and there'll be all sorts of times where, and I'm sure that Chuck's probably like so sick of it, is like, motherfucking, I got another message from Mike, I don't even know what to fucking do with this kid. But like there will be times where I'll hit Chuck up just to talk out a brick wall that I've hit as a writer. Like it's all about your own personal dedication, and that goes into editing, that goes to anything that comes into this business. And we also have to remember that the people that started this business were people that a lot of them were actually college dropouts. They couldn't afford to keep going to school. They got like the basics.
And there's the other side of the coin. The other flip of that coin is, if every motherfucker had all of the stuff that you required for them to be editors, you couldn't fucking afford them, asshole. That's the problem. Most of us couldn't fucking afford them. They had all this stuff. Why the hell would they work for the peanuts that the rest of us work for? So
that was the thing too. Like, because when you start getting the degrees, you go up, your price goes up. Hey, I've got this degree and I've got this debt that I need to pay off now. So
you're paying that down, guys. You're paying down my degree. Which, don't worry, you don't have to pay for mine. I didn't get it. I bought the Strunken White book, and I studied an awful lot, but there's no financial.
We all know what we're covering with you. We're covering your bar tab. It's all good.
I was listening, by the way, Dominic. You described your newspaper much like my city. Your paper, much like my city.
I'm so confused. My newspaper.
I'm sorry, not your paper. Your boards you're making.
Yeah, for real. What do you mean?
Yeah. You said they're 96% white, and
right.
Like the city I live in. Yeah,
that stuff. It's like 90. It's so bad. It's like, couldn't we just draw white on black and figure it out?
Now,
everything.
I just thought about that.
Comics from here on in.
I thought about that. I'm like, that's. I'm amazed by the fact that you got paper and I'm gonna get some of that because I really want to.
I'll hook you up.
I want to graduate on from the art boards that I've been using. They're canceled. Oh, we lost. We lost Odin. Yeah, he'll be back. But yeah, I do think that it'd be nice to try some new boards out. Me and Eric got a hold of some boards from You Create Comics from Victor Dandridge, and they were actually really good boards. Eric was impressed. He was drawing on them. He's coloring. They were taking the color quite well. We did a whole video on them on Indie Volt.
Yeah, it's good for markers and washes, but it's not like a watercolor paper. It doesn't bridge that gap quite.
Yeah.
Great for illustration. It's so solid.
Yeah. I knew a gentleman who was deeply into paper, and he was trying to find a good paper that was like 50% cotton, and I could not understand why he was so obsessed with the texture. And then the feds took him to prison, and I figured out why. He was so he wanted to. He did. I remember seeing him in Micro Center, and he's like, "Hey man," I said, "Hey man, how's it going?" He says, "I'm on my way back to prison." I'm like, he's like, "Yeah, I got," and he told me, he's like, "I got to turn myself in 2 weeks," and I'm like, "Why?" He's like, "The money thing." I'm like, "Oh, I shouldn't even be talking to you in this computer store. I'm gonna go stand over by the hard drive. You leave me alone. Get away from me, sir. I don't know you. I mean, I never felt more like that. The part in the Bible where Jesus said, "You will deny me 3 times." I felt, I don't know him. I'm out of here. I was wilding out the way like Dan Slott walks. I don't care what anybody says. Dan Slott's been on my shit list for years, and now I've got ammo. So Chuck, we're gonna go over this one more time. Chuck, I know you were late. You didn't get in here. I know Randy's still coming. He just messaged me. He's gonna be late. But we talked about
It'll be just in time for the end.
We talked about the Kubert School is now offering their services for logo design, social media design, they help you pre-press for your comics. So I think that was lettering. Did I read coloring? I don't think I read coloring, but I know lettering was an issue, and lettering was the one thing I thought, hell, I'll use that.
Basically, if you can make a comic, you can make a hell of a lot of other things.
So they're offering their services now. It looks like it's going to be faculty and alumni. Not sure if students are going to be able to partake in doing that. But we start wondering, was it ethical? Was it, was it right for them to do that? And as someone who has excelled at cheap labor, JD Calderon, who's known to hire people to make them work long, hard hours, he was like, "Yeah, this doesn't seem ethical at all, guys."
If it's faculty and alumni, wouldn't they be charging an awful lot?
They don't list their prices. They contact them and talk.
I mean, students would be on the cheap because they're learning. But I mean, if somebody is a fucking teacher at the Joe Kubert School, you assume that because they're a teacher, they've obviously got like mad credits and everything. They're probably going to be charging you a fair amount. So are we sure that it's faculty and alumni? Because I would bet it sounds like the dental school. You know what I mean? You're like, "Hey, do you want your gums taken care of? They're really cheap, but some dude who can barely fucking hold a scalpel is about to put it in his mouth."
Well, that's why that dental school, they'll do it all for free. Apparently, they'll do your work for free. And like, it's a dental school, and I'm like, "But you want me to go and let students go inside my mouth?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "No."
That's how I get my haircut. That's how I get my haircut. Why the fuck do you think I wear a hat?
Yeah.
You'll do it for free? Great. I'll put this thing back on.
Listen, I'm always unnerved by the way doctors and lawyers refer to what they do as a practice. It's like, you're not professional. You haven't done this before. Like, this is like, what? Don't call it a. What do you mean? Perfect. Yeah. What do you mean this is a practice? This is my life. Wait a minute. You're gonna get me off, right? I've been doing this for 10 years.
This is just the practice exam, sir.
What if your Uber driver said that?
This is the practice.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
You get into Uber and he's like, "Hey, welcome to my practice." You're like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" "Hey, there's no orange cones out here. I'll be fine."
Yeah, exactly.
Can I just chime in on the Cubert School?
Yeah,
the one
yeah.
thing we didn't talk about is we're not worried about quality. We know it's going to be quality. We know it's going to be good.
Right,
I mean,
right.
chances are it's going to be really good.
Yeah. So yeah, you can go over there to Cubert School, our agency. Check it out. Storyboards and comps, all that good stuff. They're gonna do storyboards. That's cool. You can call them. They got the number up there. You can just look it up.
I mean, if they're graduates and stuff, we know that. But if they're first years, you don't know that they're going to be good. They're still learning.
They better be good, or else I'm gonna complain. I'm the customer. I'm gonna say, listen. There was this. I remember listening to the behind the scenes of Bad Boys, the first movie, and Michael Bay, it was his first movie, and he said he had reached out to one of the big Hollywood stunt drivers, and the guy was like, "Oh, Michael, I'm retiring, but I got my students. I'll send my students down." So he sent the students down, and they came and they did poorly. And Michael Bay called up the guy and says, "Look, this is my first movie. You cannot send me your students. You need to come down there, please. You're going to beat me in the beep." And Michael Bay, the guy was like, "Okay, Michael, I'll come down." And the guy came down and did all these car scenes like in one take. Right. And since then he's actually the students have gotten better. But it was, that one time where you needed the professional guy to come out and do that. And so I would complain like, "Hey, wait a minute. I just got my stuff back. This looks horrible."
That's what worries me about a lot of these. There's a lot of these companies that are like, "Hey, we do your art for you. We have a plethora of artists. Look at the kind of work we've done." And I'm like, "Okay, but I want to see the work that the guy you're giving to me has done.
Yeah.
What does his work look like? Like, I don't give a shit about your whole roster. I'm sure you've got some amazing talent. Look at the colorists. Look at all this shit. But what is that guy? What has he done? What does his shit look like?"
The guy that's hoping to pay his water bill next month that you got drawn my book. What's his portfolio?
Yeah.
What do his credits look like? And
not just that, like, what are the assurances to me if he gets my stuff wrong? Like, can I come back and say, "Hey, this Varian Grant guy is horrible. Get me Eric Hodson," because is there anybody, and do I have to pay extra for that now?
Yes, absolutely.
Eric's like, yes.
Yeah.
The ghost of Indie Volt Past has shown up finally.
Yeah. Randy's.
Oh, fantastic! Indie Volt Past. Okay, buddy. Yeah, you're the dreaded dinosaur, not me.
He was moonlighting on another show and almost forgot about us.
No, I told you I was going to make Brian go long, and that's exactly what I did. We ran that puppy out 2.5 hours.
Yeah, Brian's not going to wake up tomorrow morning.
Probably
he'll
not.
wake up, but he'll wake up super late.
He's not having a show tomorrow anyway.
Yeah.
He's got a doctor's appointment he's going to have to get to, and he's going to be really bright-eyed for that.
Yeah. Damn that, Randy. The other problem, though, and so you got Cubert School now, and Eric brought up a good idea. Maybe this is just hey, we're losing money. Students aren't coming to school. We've got to we got all these mandates. We can't have students here. Let's figure out a way to make some money this year. So that's always a concern. But if you're looking for lettering, I keep saying it, give them a call. See what they charge. Let us know. And then finally, we also go back over what we've gone over. Also, our good friends over at Devil's Due decided they wanted to pop us up with, and Chuck, you weren't here for this either. I'll play it for you guys real quick.
Do we have to watch it again?
Yeah, Chuck and Randy weren't here.
You're going to get a copyright strike, dude.
That's okay. I get enough.
What are they going to do? Take your money?
Yeah, what are they going to do? Yeah.
Yeah. It's like you're monetized. Yes.
It's almost as if that's what they're trying to do anyway.
Josh Blaylock, and I have the privilege of bringing this brand new pop culture concept to WeFunder, Pop Cultivator.
Where's my Sharpie?
A brand new kind of comic book studio that brings together an amazing group of pop culture industry pros and teams them with you to create a brand new comic book empire. This is really the next evolution in
Hard
comic
cut.
book,
watching this time, guys.
whereby
I'm
instead
gonna
of
see if,
the
people like
fans
it all.
and the readers and backers just investing in product and getting rewards shipped to them, you actually own a piece of the intellectual property itself. That means not just the comics, but everything that's in merchandise, collectibles,
Wait, just put
even
Chuck's
film.
face up there the
I've been making
entire
comic
time.
books
I can't
for
see it
over
if you
20
do that.
I want to see Chuck's
largely known for
expression
bringing G.I.
while he
Joe back
looks
into circulation in the beginning of the 2000s and starting an 80s retro trend in comics. Most recently, I just set up one of my own comic books, Mercy Sparks, for a movie option with MGM Studios. And the people on my team are just a whole group of extremely impressive people. Mike Horn, our Chief Business Development Officer, and the former founder.
They don't have a good film editor, do they?
Mike has brokered partnerships with the NFL.
They
Star
haven't
Wars,
gotten there
Lucasfilm,
yet, Randy.
Even
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
the colorist of the Captain
need your
Underpants
money
and Dogman
first.
books of the past 8 years.
I knew he didn't do it on his own.
On Netflix's Captain Underpants animated series, and character designer for Nickelodeon's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and the creator of 2 exciting new properties we have in store. Mark Powers, a former Marvel editor overseeing the entire X-Men family of comic books, a prolific writer, and former editor of Devil's Due for the G.I. Joe
I'm
comics.
sorry, I need to be quiet.
Just a whole group of extremely impressive people, all who have their hands in some aspect of the comic book
And these guys.
space. And what we're doing is simple. We are raising funds to
how many
put
trucker
this team
hats
to
were
work to
there?
create and acquire amazing.
How
new
many
comic
reverse
book
hats
content,
were there?
and we know what we're doing, and we want to get it to market. It's a fun industry to be in. It's exciting, and most importantly, it is booming, even right now, despite the pandemic. In times of recession, comic books have always shown resiliency, and now is no different. Kids sales for comics are booming right now.
Marvel and DC, guys.
Seeing
Raina
double-digit growth
Telgemeier.
year-over-year. The industry as a whole, despite the pandemic, is going to see a double-digit growth.
Double-digit.
Scholastic stuff.
And when it comes to the more superhero adult content people are used to,
How do you know?
between Hollywood and the streaming wars and tech coming in to wanting to develop original content, there just almost aren't enough comics out there to satisfy everyone's demand.
We've never seen
And
a
the
balloon
shareholders, of
pop
course, they don't
before,
just
so
own
it'll be
what the
fine.
company owns.
Another hard cut. I'm loving these hard cuts.
Part of the process along the way as these projects are created,
Oh,
you get to
he
be
finally
actually
blinked
a
once.
part
I
of
missed it.
seeing these things come together, being kept in the loop as we're setting up our publishing pipelines for the projects that we develop, and you actually get to be a part of seeing how independent.
Keep looking at the breasts every time they go over
gets
to
nurtured from the
Sorry.
very beginning all the way
That's why
to
that's
hopefully
there.
the big time.
I know.
Like if you were able to participate in helping the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles when they were just ideas in the creative.
Another cut.
Seeing as
Cut.
the event space opens
Cut.
back up, as we start to push these out into the comic book world, as we find creators to work with and
Ooh,
other
the
creators who bring
video
ideas to
editing.
us that we are able to help
Exactly.
bring to market,
Cut.
all the while keeping our investors involved. So it's something that's going to be really rewarding and fun. And
Cut.
most importantly, this is something we've all done before. So we know how to do something small scale.
That's why we're begging for money.
And we know how to scale it all the way up to the big time. I mean, if that
All the
means
way.
if it needs
All
to
the
be
way.
on the shelves in Walmart, if it needs to be a major motion picture, if it needs to be
It's
a
gonna be
console
huge,
video
guys.
game,
gonna be
somebody in our crew has done it. We'd be honored
Cut.
to have you on board to help us achieve our mission. We have some lofty goals, but within a
Cut.
few short years, we'll be celebrating this new concept of Pop Cultivator as having become a major force in the pop culture industry.
Now, he said that
It makes me nauseous that he calls it the pop culture industry. I cannot get that
called it
term
vampire.
alone just makes me feel sick.
Oh, wait, he said that you'll be able to check. He said that you'll be able to see and be kept abreast of what's going on. But we went through the perks.
We saw a lot of abreast on that video.
We went through the perks. And Randy,
Sir.
there's no perk, even at $7,500 plus.
It's perkless.
You get the free digital copies of all the comics the company releases.
Digital. Yummy.
That you can purchase any products the company produces directly at cost.
Okay.
Or a 70% retail discount, whichever is greater. It includes limited edition merchandise. All products may be available to reserve at the same time they are open to wholesalers, as well as limited edition direct-to-consumer merchandise. Access to purchase comic convention passes through exhibitor, guest connections when the company attends an event, and the cost equals the price of manufacturing, tariff, shipping, etc. So you don't get a seat at the table. You don't get a chance to say, "Hey, this project sucks balls. I don't release it." He said that you'll be able to sit and see the projects from start to finish, but I don't see any of that listed in the perks. I don't know what tier, unless that's with all the tiers. I mean, but you don't start getting perks until the minimum to go in is $100. you don't start getting any perks that they want to talk about until you do 250 or more. And that's you get free digital copies of all the comic books the company releases.
So besides digital comics, what the fuck do you get?
Discount.
Nothing.
Discounts.
5% discounts off their physical fucking.
Because they optioned a movie once out of a comic? Do you know that's like one of the easiest fucking things to do? Getting an option, all it is them going, hey, here's $20. We're gonna hold on to this motherfucker, and we might make it one day. Really, we're probably just gonna sit on it, and if anybody barks at it at all, we might try to sell it off to them.
Well,
like that's what an option is. It doesn't mean anything.
You guys will be happy to know that Mr. Blaylock has won the Grift King of the Week award. That he did get that because we all decided this was grift.
This is that thing that, like, those of us who are in the indies, you know, like working our way up and all this, we see these motherfuckers all the time in the trenches. They come on and they go, I've got this really good idea. It's going to make an amazing movie. And you're like, yeah, but it won't, because you have no idea. Like, you have no credits. You have no experience. You don't fucking know what's going on at all. And you think that you're just going to make one book and everybody's going to see it, love it, and take it.
He's got credits. He's got credits.
He's Josh Blaylock.
He's Josh Blaylock.
No, I know that he
Samurai
does.
Penguin.
I know that he does, but what he's doing is he's selling to those people who don't have the credits and who think that they can come in, get on the ground floor, invest some money, and suddenly they have the next fucking Umbrella Academy or whatever the fuck. Wow.
He's never going to come on this show now.
I would really need to hear a better pitch than that.
Was he ever going to come on the show?
Marion, I don't think he was.
I don't think he's ever going to come on now. No, he was never going to come on. He's probably thinking that we're he's probably going to send us some mean cease and desist letters to us pretty soon.
I don't know the guy.
Copyright strike in the morning. You played the damn video twice.
Yeah. So we already said that no one here likes it. Chuck and Randy weren't here at the time, and you guys, Chuck's been looking sideways. Randy, you think it's horrible?
Is there a total on his?
He needs 50,000.
No, I know he needs 50. How much has he raised so far?
Nothing so far.
50,000.
Nothing.
Nothing so
zero.
far.
When has he made the? Has he made the campaign live?
It launches in 7 days.
So he's holding off. This is the anticipation.
Yeah, you can invest now.
You bought a comic for me at a con, and I got your email address. So here.
Yeah.
Time period.
Sunday.
You bought Samurai Penguin back in 1983. Maybe you'll listen to me.
There are four investors that wrote something here. Who wrote, how they felt about it. One guy just wrote Josh. He probably
meant to say, Josh, call me. There's an issue. I want my money back.
But yes, Randy, how much can we put you in for? How about we all go in together?
Can we go negative on putting in? Can we like build
no,
for the time that we watched the video?
There's no tier that allows me to be on the board and fire somebody. So.
Yeah, there you go.
That's all Eric wants. I just want to fire someone.
Yeah. It's I see how you guys are.
Maybe
I'd like to fire the guy who came up with this idea.
Yeah. What did you say, JD?
Maybe if we each put in $1, they'll send us a newsletter.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we're gonna all just put in a news. Give us the book. I do think that it'll be interesting to follow this, especially when it launches on December 2nd over on WeFunder.
WeFunder. Why? How many of us have heard of WeFunder before?
I was today years old when I heard of it.
You were today years old. Me too.
Sounds like another fishy site that worked its way up here a little while ago. But I mean, we won't go there.
No. You don't want to talk about Little Willie?
I got a question.
That's who we were talking about, right? Never mind. Move on. Never mind.
Why didn't he go to a Kickstarter or an Indiegogo or GoFundMe. Why not?
Well, I think if you
there's no
go
real
back
product.
and look at Kickstarter, I bet Devil's Dues had a property or campaign or two that's rode through there.
Well, they did show some. Here's the problem: is that with things like Kickstarter and Indiegogo, you have to have a product. They're not selling you a fucking product, so they can't go through them. They're like, "Could you give us some money? You might be able to buy comics cheaper one day, or we might give you digital books." Motherfucker, I can get digital books anywhere. I can jump on to a $5 Kickstarter that has probably hit a bunch of great stretch goals, and I can end up with 30 or 40 indies like fucking that.
Well, you
Hey,
got a point.
If they make their minimum though, I'm starting a company.
If they made the 50,000, yeah, 50,000.
Yes, sir. And I'll throw all of my properties in for collateral. I will. I got properties they haven't seen yet.
Yeah, I that would be funny. That would be funny. Everybody just runs out, makes something coming. Hey, come over here. I'm going to WeFunder. I need JD can have all your properties.
Give me $100,000. I'll promote all of my brands.
Yeah.
I do 20 grand would be cool. 25, absolutely.
Hey guys, I gotta roll out. My phone is about to die.
Yeah, we're getting ready to get out of here. Mike,
he's gonna look at the WeFundMe site now.
Yeah. Michael, we'll get back with you. Go check out Elysian Fields Pyramid Gambit over on Indiegogo, and you're going to Kickstarter now, right?
We are actually launching our Kickstarter for that this Friday, and the big thing that we're doing for that is since this is our first Kickstarter, we're doing the big premium product is actually a soft cover of our collector's edition from the Indiegogo that collects both the Zero issue and the Pyramid Gambit, and it has a nice art gallery. And while our funding goal is $2,500, we actually found a printer that does hollow foil soft covers for Peerbound. And so if we hit 5K, we are going to make that edition of the book extra shiny with hollow foil. So
very good. Very good. All right, Michael, you get out of here. We'll see you soon, sir. Stay safe.
Catch you guys here in a bit. Thanks for having me.
See you, Mike. Eric just sent me something from WeFunder. Eric, can I put that up on the screen?
If you want it, especially for you.
Yeah, Black Sands Entertainment, who I've seen them before, they actually did do WeFunder, and look, they raised $398,000.
Wow!
So almost $400,000. There was $250 minimum to get in, but they raised theirs. So I mean,
that's a WeFunder.
Yes.
Who's in on that?
I've seen their ads around. The animation and the art looks really good.
Wow.
From the things they were doing, but they got senior animators from Disney, Sony, Pixar, Barone, Amazon Studios, Nickelodeon, and Rainmaker, among others. So they had a lot of talent there. But 400,000.
Maybe I'll start looking at WeFunder.
Yeah. I think we've all been sleeping on WeFunder, man.
I know.
Indie Volt's
Holy crap!
Yeah. Oh yes. We'll be on there now.
Invest in Indie Volt.
Yeah, we need some money.
We'll get you digital files of episodes you can already download off of fucking YouTube.
I got this scanner here. I will scan my entire indie collection. I got a scanner here. I'll just put it in there. Don't worry, guys. You'll get everything. I think that it's the start a company that way is crazy. You also wanted to. Doesn't Josh have the money?
No, one would think.
No.
His last publishing gig was with Image.
Yeah, but he's the founder of. He's got Devil's Due. I mean, Devil's Due.
How's Devil's Due doing?
What's the last book you remember from Devil's Due?
G.I. Joe and Mercy Spark. Wasn't Hackslash over there?
How long has IDW been printing G.I. Joe?
Since I know R.B. Sitterson got a hold of it, I know that much. But
4 years, 5 years, 6 years.
Yeah,
ish.
Yeah.
Ish.
So you guys aren't gonna invest. I see that. You guys are non-starter.
Somebody didn't get their contract renewed.
I see how you guys are. It's negative Nancy's all of you. Negative Nancy's all of you. However, I understand from sources that condo in Chicago is very expensive. So anyway, got to pay that bill. So I guess we are out of time. But I will let everyone tell us where they can be found and what deals they're running right now. I know Mr. Dreaded Dinosaur Eric Hodson just finished up Piper, right around Piper. This man's been working. He's like the Rock. He's got a bunch of stuff. He's just finished up Piper. He just finished inking God's Hand for Anthony Figueroa and was it Wolfpack Comics? Said it.
Mm-hmm.
And he's working on Dinosaur Man. I'm gonna share screen, and Eric, you can talk them through this.
Sounds good. I'm currently running a sale. Here's my website, erichodson.com. If you click on Buy Prints, I'll take you to this page right here where you can see all of my art prints. I'm doing a 50% off sale to the end of the month because I need to pay my December rent and have some money for Christmas. So please head on over there and see if there's anything that you'd like to adorn your walls with. I got wrestling and video games and just all the cool, crazy fan art that I've been doing for a while. Don't have a lot of copies left, so I'm just trying to clear everything out and like I said, pay them bills. And my big project is my IP, The Dreaded Dinosaur Man, which you can read for free on Webtoon. New chapter should be dropping, I think, by Saturday because I had some other work come in. The current chapter that's up right now has our very own Varian Grant, his character, Veej, making his debut.
Nice.
In the book, in the comic strip. And this is eventually going to be a printed book that I'll be doing probably by spring next year. We're building the story up to a certain point, so it'll make sense for readers to when they get their hands on the physical book. And so Varian and his hat, they make their debut here. And it's a great little story. I'm really excited to keep telling these chapters to it. And get to that printed book, which again, hopefully in the spring we'll be ready for that. But I need subscriptions. I need eyeballs on this. I need people to be gung-ho and sharing it, like my man Odin, who is with us. He's a big fan of the book. And please check it out on Webtoon. Just look for Dreaded Dinosaur Man.
And then this is Veej's debut in the book, but his other debut was in the ad. The first time we see him was in the ad. Does the ad run yet?
It is in Luke Stone's hybrids, as far as I know.
Okay, all right. So that's the first time. I have special affinity for that one because I got a chance to write that ad, so that was cool. I got a chance to play with Eric's characters and I'm just gonna do this and do this and do this, and then I had to remember I couldn't make it a Veej story, not by himself. So, but yeah, there's Dreaded Dinosaur Man. My son has a picture of Dreaded Dinosaur Man on his wall. And he's like, he thinks Dreaded Dinosaur Man is cool. So cool, in fact, that he's also now the, I guess my son believes he's the official, canon keeper or the historian of Dinosaur Man because he was upset that Eric posted a link and my son is an eavesdropper. He likes to look over me and see what I'm doing. And Eric has a picture he used of Dinosaur Man. Well, Caden is like, that's not Dinosaur Man. How come Dinosaur Man's tongue
this old one here?
Yeah, it's pink. Dinosaur Man's tongue is blue. COVID. And I'm like, oh crap, it is. Yeah. She's telling me he had COVID, son. He's sick. He's sick. That's what it does to Dinosaur Man. But yeah, so Dinosaur Man on Webtoon. It's free. Go check it out.
Yep.
Subscribe. Tell them Indie Volt sent you. And moving on, we'll move down to Mr. JD Calderon. JD, what are you working on, sir?
Well, currently I have the Oswald Chronicles on Indiegogo. It's a good jumping on point. This is where Oswald rescues, he's in Dream, he rescues an angel babe, and he goes off to rescue his parents. So go check it out. Cool. It's on Indiegogo at the moment.
Indiegogo. I'm just kidding. Should have been on WeFunder, sir, for all the cool kids out there.
This is true. I could have raised $500,000 by then.
Yeah, but then he'd have all these funders be telling him what to do.
Yeah.
That's how he said it.
I've been looking through your Chronicles of Oswald, and I couldn't help but notice this nice slick paper. Now you've been telling us that you're a proponent of newsprint, but I'm just kidding.
that looks like it's been laying flat quite a bit. You've been scanning that?
Yeah, man. I've been. I'm telling you, I'm starting the JD Calderon collection, with all those accent marks in there.
Let me tell you though. As soon as you scan it in, just let me know because I'll be at your house shortly. Just have lunch ready. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. He told me. He said, once you scan them, man, I'm coming for my half of the money. I go, oh man, come on. Chuck, where can we find you at, sir?
Yep. You can find me on Facebook, Chuck Pino. You can find me on Instagram under the same name. You can find me on Twitter at Chucky Pin. You can find my Chuck's Raw Reviews on YouTube right now, where I talk about some of my absolute favorite comics out there. You can find my publishing wing, Bonfire Press, on Facebook right now, facebook.com//Bonfire Press. You can also find my audio drama Essence House on all of the major podcast sites. And now we're turning it into a novel, and it has 6 days left on Kickstarter. We have funded, so we're on to our stretch goal. So if you want to check out a very cool novel, you can go check out Essence House now.
Backslash?
Yeah, I don't know. /, do whatever you want. I don't care.
Give me a /. I don't make it. Okay. All right. If it's backslash, I mean.
If it works.
It might not. It might lead you to prawn. Then you'll be all sad, and the kids are like, I went to his page, and it led me to some girl named Megan Rain. Who I love, by the way. I love Megan Rain. She looks just like Megan Fox. Oh my god. Anyway, Dominic, Mirror Comics. I have your site up still. Mirror Comics, and hold on one second. I'm gonna accept.
Yes. So basically, it was founded 10 years ago as Mirror Comics. It was an idea I had in the 90s, but Mirror Comics got official, and then I kind of folded everything because I wanted to focus on my own things. Mm-hmm. And that's the way I went. So I kept the mirrorcomics.com, and I'm Mirror Comics Studios now. And so we have the winter collection coming up on Ingram. But right now on littledistro.com, you'll find, it's right there. You'll find an offer for the fall collection. And if you really want to nitpick on every little book you want to get instead of getting the whole collection of the fall collection, it's 75 Canadian, so I guess with shipping it'd be about 75 American. For 10 books, they're super deluxe, 70-pound paper inside, 100-pound paper outside, and they stand on their own. And that's the big offer right now is the fall collection. And otherwise, check out the logocomics.com papers, which are going to be awesome. And it's just rolling out now. Yeah, it's at the bottom there, bottom right, if you want to check out some grids.
Okay.
Thanks, man.
Logo content, and they're and you can get your own logo put on this, so you can be.
That's right.
You can be cool like Eric and get custom paper and be like.
Be cool like me.
Yeah, because Eric has boards of his dinosaur man on the back of him, and he's like, he looks at me.
For like the tarot card, we would maybe put your logo on the back,
right?
Because of the sizing issue.
Right.
But we're open to everything. There's a 1-888 number. It goes straight to my printer, Sotec Printing, Sotec Graphics here in Ottawa. Mm-hmm. And we're partnering up, and we'll see if there's demand, and we'll see how people react tomorrow. Otherwise, there's a form field where you can just ask what you want. So basically, if you need a bunch of trading cards, blank, with live area grid, all the way to 11 by 17, even a 12 by 18 if you have a scanner that can handle that stuff.
Yeah.
We'll hook you up. Yeah,
cool.
man.
And Dominic, I know you said you wanted to come back on one of the shows, and we tell everybody who comes on Indie Volt, you're always welcome to come back. We have the Breakfast Buzz, Sunday Funnies, which is much more lighthearted, and then much more I'm full of
that's for early people. I don't do early.
Yeah.
But I tried. But this is my time. Anyway, so it all hubs at mirrorcomics.com. I'm at Mirror Comics on Twitter and /Mirror Comics on everything else. Facebook, Pinterest, Patreon, SoundCloud, all that jazz.
All right.
So check it out. Might have some potential for your own grids.
Cool.
Yeah, thanks.
And we will be talking to you very soon. Randy, where can they find you at?
They can find me on Facebook under Randy Zimmerman. You can find me on Twitter under Randy Zim. I'm not over there very often, but when I do, it's as Randy Zim. You can find me at YouTube under the Zim Geek channel, ZIMMGEEK, where we offer cartoon instructional and an occasional video about the comic market. And whenever I'm able to put a video up there, it's been a while, so there needs to be one coming up here pretty soon. Other than that, I'm here on the Indie Volt network. every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. for the Indie Volt show. Are we still calling it Indie Volt?
Yeah, we haven't changed the name of the company.
Okay, the Indie Volt show, and Thursday morning at 9 a.m. and we'll be here on Turkey Day at 9 a.m. Talking about the great stuff about comics on the Breakfast Buzz, and then Sunday morning at 9 a.m. We do the Sunday Funnies, where we talk about the more lighthearted and whimsical side of comics. And Indie Volt also has Geekgasm on Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. Talking about the feminine side of geekdom and fandom.
And we'll be back here also again, Randy said, on Thanksgiving Day. I personally, guys, I'm very excited about Thanksgiving. I went to the store and I was really happy. I went to the comic book store, and my comic book store is expanding. Really like a lot. They move it. I think because of things being slow, they had to move in different areas, and they are now actually selling food products. They started with pop, like they would sell pops and chips and cookies and stuff. Now they've actually moved into meats. They had a gorgeous turkey. I picked it up in my comic store. I took a picture of it. I don't know if you guys seen it earlier. Here it is. Turkey I bought from the comic book store. Yeah, it was here.
Funny looking turkey.
Yeah. It's gonna be delicious. They
have the meats.
That's not gonna be delicious.
Yeah.
Anime too.
That's a
Looks like he's been basted.
Yeah.
It's certainly stuffed.
Has the funniest walk, I'm telling you. Anyway,
is that like the Dan Slott walk we watched on Marvel 616?
That is Dan Slott, yeah.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was.
I thought it was some other turkey.
No, that's Dan. That's Dan before he grew the beard.
Oh, wouldn't even know. He is.
I mean, and in that picture, he looks like he's 100 pounds lighter.
He looks pretty roasted, though.
We're going to get in trouble for fat shaming. All right.
I'm fat. I can do it all day.
Yeah. Well, I'm nice and rotund. Guys, thanks for joining me here. Thanks, Eric, JD, Dominic. Great to have you on. KJ. I'm sorry, Keith. Thanks for hopefully he can. We had Keith earlier, but his internet wasn't working right, so he had to leave and he couldn't come back. Hoping to get him back in. But we did cover his book, Road to Valhalla, over on Kickstarter. So go check
I
that
see
out.
Chuck didn't hang on for much longer, did he?
No, Chuck had to get out of here. He's wanted to come in and shake his finger at Scott, who had said that you need paper to work in this industry. Thanks for joining us, guys. You can listen in on Indie Volt Radio. Do so, or you can listen in right now. Indie Volt Radio, get it on Google Play, Streamer, or on your beautiful and sexy Alexa app, which I just told mine to be quiet because she'll be listening. Google Play or Streamer, you can also ask Alexa to play Indie Volt Radio for you, and she will. Just don't ask your thermostat because she'll play it as well, like I did a couple days ago when she would not shut up. If you want to send us a question, IndieVolt Live at indievolt.com is where you want to contact us at. Include IndieVolt Live in the subject and keep those emails to 90 words or less. Also, check us out on IndieVolt TV on Roku. We got a lot of free stuff up there. It's some movies, some wrestling content, some long form shows, a little bit longer than the ones we usually do. Well, excuse me, with some content that we usually can't put on YouTube and whatnot for fear of them dropping the ban hammer on us. We don't have to worry about that on Roku. We can say what we want to say, do what we want to do. You might notice up top we got a different background. We've included some of the other places you can find the set, as well as Discord, and we actually even have a DeviantArt, which we never really talk about. We have a DeviantArt, so that's up there too, as well as Instagram, Twitch, Roku, all that good stuff. So check us out over there too.
Soon to be on Rumble, Anchor, and Globe.
Yeah. We'll add Parler and all of those. We'll get kicked off. We'll get canceled for having social media networks they don't agree with. Can't wait till that happens.
Good, actually.
Yeah. You guys, thanks for being on. Thank you for watching. We'll be back here Thanksgiving morning. Geekgasm tomorrow night.
Day morning. Yep.
Thanksgiving. Geekgasm tomorrow night. Wednesday at 9 p.m. Randy, I'll be back Thursday morning at 9 a.m. And then Randy be back with you again on Sunday for the Sunday Funnies at 9 a.m. as well.
where we will have a special program this Sunday with Glenn Fleming, who will be introducing his 3rd issue of Comics Unlimited, dedicated to the Golden Age. So expect some discussion about probably C.C. Beck or Karl Barks or some Donald Duck stuff. Who knows? It'll be good.
Cool. I'll take us out of here. You guys stay safe, stay healthy. See you soon. All right.
Take care, everybody.
Stay tuned.
Do you draw the Flintstones naked?